Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Cohn phone, the only place where you can call in and show your face and talk about the 49ers no matter where you are in the world. Last week, we had a dude from Istanbul, another dude from London, another dude from Mexico. I mean, guys were from all over the world. I'm telling you, it was just crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. So I'm going to take people now. Oh, we got Sai. What's up? Okay. I'm going to take as many questions as I can for about the next hour and a half, 2 hours. And I have other things I want to talk about on my own. But if people bring it up, we can get to him. Sai is an MVP. He's been on this a million times. Hey, Sai.
Hey Grant, how are you? Happy birthday.
Nice to finally meet you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy birthday again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Hey Grant, I know we wanted to talk about Robert Saleh, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Kyle and Jimmy. So one of the things that I feel, it almost feels that Kyle is always on needles, right? When he talks about Jimmy and why he wants to keep Jimmy around. Um, what I feel the reason why he's hesitating to get rid of Jimmy is because of he fears that he may lose the locker room. Because if you think about it, one of the things that Kyle has done really well is to keep the locker room together. And especially if you think like he has lost 3 out of 4 seasons. Yes, there was a Super Bowl in between, but he lost. And if you look at Doug Peterson, who had a lot of winning record, he even won a Super Bowl.
Won the Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl, but he lost the locker room. And it's I think that's one thing about Kyle, which he's done really well, is to keep the locker room together. Now, if he gets rid of Jimmy, the problem is Jimmy has really good winning record, and Kyle has not been able to win without Jimmy. And Jimmy is popular in the locker room. So what I feel is the reason why he's still so hesitating is like if he gets rid of Jimmy and the replacement bombs out, then he's going to lose the locker room. And I feel that that's the biggest thing. And it almost Kyle needs to let Jimmy fail one way or the other before he can find the replacement. This is why he cannot bring in Trubisky. He
You're
cannot
right.
draft a rookie quarterback. He cannot. I mean, he's just stuck. And the other interesting thing is, I mean, he had a golden parachute last year with Tom Brady, and that's what is even more frustrating is like because if he got Tom Brady in, like he could have easily got rid of Jimmy. I mean, nobody would question, right? Then it's not an issue.
No.
And I'm sure he must be kicking himself for missing that.
I mean, Niner fans were okay with the Niners getting rid of DeForest Buckner and replacing him with Javon Kinlaw. They would have been just fine replacing Jimmy Garoppolo with Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. And at least like see there he could justify it because again, defensive line, there's 4 positions and they also got Nick Bosa, right? So in a way that justified getting rid of Buckner. Hey, I cannot pay everyone. But quarterback, it's like just one guy. And if he replaces him with somebody and bombs out, I feel that that's going to be a disaster. And which is why I feel that Kyle will still, if he has an opportunity to get Kirk Cousins, like he would love to do that and replace Jimmy with Kirk Cousins, but still he cannot do that, like because it's almost Jimmy needs to
fail. That's a great point. And the cruel thing about 2020 is that he got hurt. He has another excuse. And then he comes back this year. And the funny thing is, if he struggles in 2021, he could say, well, I was coming off an injury. I didn't play much last year. So it's like he always has an excuse. I feel like I would be pretty frustrated with Jimmy if I were Kyle Shanahan too. It's out of my hands. It was supposed to be my team, and it's not. It's Jimmy's.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like he's so popular in the locker room, and Kyle doesn't want it because he doesn't want to lose the locker room. And I think because then if he loses the locker room, he's getting fired. Like he doesn't have a winning record. He's lost 3 out of 4 seasons, and I think that seems to be the challenge. The second quick one that I wanted to hit is I feel that as we are looking for a defensive coordinator, we also need to look for a different special teams coordinator, right?
Real quick, before you go on, that's a great point. I just wanted to point out that hold on, no, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. No. So I think the special teams, if you look at it, I mean, the special teams is one area I feel that it has not improved in the last 4 years. I mean, the defense compared to where it started with Robert Saleh, we improved over the 4 years and now to become one of the top defenses. I feel that it's easy to justify the bad special teams play this year because like, hey, so many injuries, all my special teams player ended up being starters. It's very easy for them to rationalize and justify. but you got to be able to find a better special teams coach. And I feel that they should strongly look at it. I don't know whether they're looking at it or not, but special teams is so critical. And you look at Mitch Wishnowsky, I mean, like, he's a disaster 4th-round pick. I mean, somebody needs to develop these guys.
Yeah, it seems to me that special teams is an oversight for the current Niners regime. And you look at the Patriots. The Patriots prioritize special teams. They always have the best special teams in the league. It's a great way to help both your offense and your defense. Coaches say that you want to win 2 out of the 3 phases in a game. Well, if you're consistently losing special teams, that means to win the game, you usually have to win both offense and defense, which is hard to do. So, yes, it creates more of a margin for error. Every 10 yards you get on a punt return is a first down your offense doesn't have to get. And the Niners punt returners just try fair catches. They don't even try. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think they should totally look for it and try to upgrade
coordinator. I mean, as great of a coordinator as Robert Saleh is, it almost seems like the Niners cut corners at special teams. Like, hey, we only have $10 left over. Let's get the only guy they need to get a better special teams coordinator. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think they should look at it. All right.
Good thanks, call, thanks for coming in. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Hey, way to start off the day strong. Sigh. All right. Who is next? Let's see. Oh, Rob from last week. I'm going to get to you in a minute, Rob, but I got 1K Jose ahead of you in line. So we're going to get to 1K Jose. Oh, what's up? Hey, you're muted. Hold on. You're muted. I can't hear you. I really want this to work because your car is so tight. I like the ceiling you got going on in your car. That's nice. Hold on. Call back in. I can't hear you. I got to kick you, but you'll come back. All right, Rob. Rob's ready. What's up, Rob?
Grant. What's up, man?
How are you, man?
Good. Happy birthday, dude. I just saw it was your
Thanks,
birthday.
Man.
Yep.
Appreciate it, man.
So I got a few more topics this week like to talk about.
Let's get into it, man. Absolutely.
So time to talk about what everybody doesn't want to hear. Most unpopular draft decision that will likely happen. First round.
Oh, what do you defensive end?
Defensive end. I was thinking the same thing. Either that or interior O-line. It's just going to be
if they actually take an offensive line in the first round pick, I wouldn't be mad at it. It's their biggest weakness. I wouldn't be super mad. They got to trade down though.
My personal biggest needs probably interior O-line with defensive back second. You know, I think we can skate by with who we have at quarterback now, but we can't skate by with the O-line we have now. And especially if Trent Williams leaves, then it's like we're in full rebuild mode on the O-line now. You know, like
that's true. I don't think people realize that it's not a certainty that he's coming back. The Niners are going to have to pony up maybe more than they expected.
Yeah. Yep.
I
think so.
I don't know if they thought they were going to get him for like 19 or 20 million, but as soon as David Bakhtiari signed, this guy's value
set the bar.
Through the roof.
Yeah. I don't know. So, his market is just through the roof right now. So,
but as the previous caller, Cy just said, like the Niners aren't really in a position to just shove Jimmy Garoppolo out the door. They could lose the locker room the way Doug Peterson lost at Week 17 by losing on purpose. So maybe they do go offensive line, defensive line in round 1 again this year. Although it seems to me that even if you do bring Jimmy Garoppolo back, potentially taking a quarterback in round 1 doesn't preclude you from doing that. You know, I mean, It seems to me that as long as there's this rookie wage scale, which is not capitalism, but it's great. I mean, it's great for the owners. As long as you can get the most important position in sports under market value, you should be doing that. You should be drafting those quarterbacks.
Right.
So do it.
A quarterback that does more for less money rather than our quarterback who does less for more money. You know?
I mean, if the A's ran a team in the NFL, it's what they would do. They wouldn't have a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo. Why would you do that?
When you can get the same value goes through the roof, the A's just trade him away, you know?
See, here's what it's one of the things I want to talk about today. I feel like this is the future of the league. Like, look at Cleveland. They have a good, not great quarterback who's on his rookie deal. What do they do when his deal is up? Would you give him $35 million a year?
No, I'd say Baker's maybe in the 20 million range, maybe.
But he's not going to take that. You know, he's going to take what he can get, and he's going to get what Jared Goff got and stuff like that. Way too much money.
Yeah.
And so what do you do if you're Cleveland? Do you just let him go? You can't, because you don't have anyone else. So to me, Cleveland should be thinking quarterback in the first round this year, or at least quarterback at some point, because that way you can at least trade Baker or trade that guy at the end of the year. You can trade one or the other. And I think, to me, teams should be drafting a quarterback in round 1 every few years. And the fact that the Niners haven't done it since 2005 is amazing. Freaking amazing.
What did Bill Walsh say? He said he draft quarterback every year, right?
Yeah. And what I say is, now that there's this rookie wage scale that didn't exist in Walsh's day, you should draft a quarterback in the first round every 4 years.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be giving these Mondo contracts to mediocre quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo should never. The Jimmy Garoppolos of the world shouldn't be getting $135 million contracts. It's ridiculous. Just draft the next guy. It's not that hard.
Yeah, get him on a cheap rookie contract.
And until you find a great quarterback. When you find Patrick Mahomes, then lock him up. But Jimmy isn't that.
Well, I mean, look at all the quarterbacks around the league today. Like, since they have gotten big contracts, Russell Wilson, Seahawks have never gone back to the Super Bowl since he signed his second contract. Aaron Rodgers,
he's great. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Rodgers too.
Yep. Okay, so since we were talking about a line, is cutting Richburg and taking the 8.4 dead cap hit, is that an option for the Niners and drafting another center?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see an $8.4 million dead cap hit is tough for Richburg.
It is tough.
What's tougher,
is paying him that money
and not getting anything from him.
Yeah.
So at least you save some money and you move on. That's what I would do. But again, the Niners, when do they admit mistakes? When do they cut bait? That's what the Patriots do. That's what the Niners did in the 80s. This Niners team is like, oh, well, we invested in Weston Richburg. We want that deal to work out. We're going to.
Like with Jerick McKinnon?
Yeah. I mean, the only time they really cut bait was with Quan Alexander when they had Dre Greenlaw behind him. It's like, well, okay, it's not that Quan sucks. It's just that Dre Greenlaw is so great. Like, it's not that we lost the Quan, that the Quan signing was bad. It's just we have this luxury here. Like, this would be admitting, this would be them admitting that they did something wrong, and they don't do that. They don't do that,
right? Oh, especially Shanahan. With his,
he doesn't do that. But to be fair to Shanahan, he's never done anything wrong, and he's always right. So just to be fair to Kyle,
still hoping McGlinchey pulls.
Matt says cut bait with Malcolm Smith. Yeah, they did. They did cut bait with Malcolm Smith. All right, sorry, it's not that black and white, Maverick. You're right.
Do you think drafting a corner or an interior O lineman is a bigger need? We have no corner signed right now.
It's a great question. Here's the way I look at it. They're equal needs, but the way you go about getting the positions is different, because corner is a premium position and interior offensive line isn't. So you figure you could, if you didn't need a quarterback, you could take corner in round 1 and get a damn good interior offensive lineman in round 2, because how many teams are taking interior offensive lineman in round 1? That's the way you would go about it. Yeah. If you also need a quarterback, though, now you got to trade down and create more picks.
Yeah, like Mike Pouncey was a first-round pick quite a few years back, and that turned out pretty well.
But it was kind of shocking. And then when the Cowboys took Travis Frederick, the center, was like, oh wow, center at 18, wow. That's what happens. But it's like elite of the elite.
It's a conservative pick, but it can turn out to
I'm not against it.
Get a good one, you hang on to him.
Yeah, to me, any NFC West team should consider taking a guard in round 1, because all NFC West teams have to face the Rams twice a year. And that guard is getting singled up against Aaron Donald in the most important passes in the game. If you're down 4 late in the game and you're trying to lead a drive, a hurry up drive, well, your guard is going to have to block freaking Donald. He better be good.
Exactly.
What? Yeah. Sorry.
Well, all right, man. That's all I got this week.
Hey, man, you were on point 2 weeks in a row. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
All right, man. I'll see you next week.
Happy birthday, dude.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. All right, late. Cool. Let's keep it moving. Let's see if 1K Jose's audio is working today. Is it working? What's up?
How we looking?
It's a little bit better.
What's up, Grant?
How you doing, man?
Okay. I'm good. Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. What's up? What's on your mind?
Man, I just want to talk about the future for the 49ers.
Okay.
As far as the next few years, not just the upcoming year, because I feel like a lot of 49ers fans have it in their head that kind of like last year, we could just bring the same team back and run it back. We'll get guys healthy and, we'll get all of our starters back and we'll get on a roll, get back to the, Super Bowl. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The way I look at this team is that Niner fans still think it's the 2019 team. And the 2019 team was not that many people were making a lot of money. Jimmy was making money. D Ford was making money. But Buckner was on his rookie deal. Armstead was on his rookie deal. Bosa was cheap. Kittle was cheap. The whole team was cheap. No one had really gotten paid yet. And it was like this very, very, very deep team. Now there's a lot of rich people on the team, and every year someone's leaving. Buckner had to go last year. This year is probably going to be Jason Verrett, if not Trent Williams too. So this team is now much more like the Cowboys, where your top 7-8 players have to be healthy and producing every week, or you're not going to win.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've been thinking about this for a while. Your last recent guest that you had on here last week, you guys spoke a lot about the 49ers past decisions and how they're coming back to bite them, and they're just chasing their tails pretty much. And
yes,
it's a lot of stuff that I've been thinking about because, like you said, a lot of the guys were rookie guys, younger guys, undrafted guys, people who came in, fairly cheap. And it's all about the depth that we've had. Those guys have always been in our back pocket, ready to get their name called. And, a lot of those guys have played their way into a contract and earned some money now. A lot of them, we haven't been able to pay. A lot of them have left and, they've been able to step up, but eventually that's all going to run out. And when, like you said, when you have guys you're making money, when you got Armstead, Garoppolo, and all these dudes with big contracts that we're tied to for the next few years, it's kind of hard to start building back up that depth. And I don't think it can be done with rookies. I don't think we can just go sign a bunch of rookies or draft a bunch of guys and replace everyone. Because as we've seen, it's taken some time to develop those guys. The reason why they've been able to step up is because they've been developed for the past few years. We've been in the building grounds for a while, and we got to this point, and the fact that now we have all these guys that we need to pay, people are leaving, coaches are leaving, the staff is going to change. I don't think we can just, hey, let's plug and play here and let's just get right back to it. Like, I feel like we have a legit rebuild coming up in the
I
next
agree.
few years.
And that's to me why the whole idea of trading for Deshaun Watson doesn't make sense. What picks? How are you going to build a team around Watson? You're going to be the Texans. The Texans can't build around Watson. They've blown it. They've used up all their cap space. They've given away their picks. They blew it. And the Niners, I feel like, would be in the same position. They need to get assets back. They need to trade down, not up. And if they do that, they might be able to rebuild quickly because they do have a lot of great players on their team still. They got Kittle,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm loving that car you got, man. That is nice, dude.
Yeah, thank
you,
man.
Super nice.
I put it up there myself. Yeah, I got
I can tell.
a little race seat and my.
Hey. What kind of car you got?
It's a 350Z, a Nissan.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, I was suggesting you should get a G35. It's a little bit nicer and kind of luxurious. It's like the like the Acura, TLX version of a Civic. It's a little bit nicer.
Okay, I gotta sell my wife on it. You know what I'm saying?
It looks a little nicer.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I had a 4-door before, and I like that. I know you want the coupe. They're pretty nice too. The G37 as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah. See, I needed your input on that, man.
Yeah.
Ha. All right, man. Are you in? Where are you living?
Oh, I live in San Jose.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I
was wondering if your name is Jose or you're repping San Jose.
No, I live in San. My name is Jose as well.
Hey, nice, man. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Have a good one, man. For sure.
Yeah, you too.
That was tight. All right. Let's get Alex on the show.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
First, let me start off by saying big fan.
Oh, appreciate it.
And happy birthday. It's your birthday.
Oh, right? Thank you, man. Thank you. What jersey you wearing today?
I got Kittle right here.
Kittle.
And sadly, I got Jimmy right here.
Ah, Jimmy. Yeah. Nice. All right, man. What's on your mind?
All right. So I got a list of some of the free agents here. I'm just wondering if we can go through them and you tell me yes or no. Are they coming back next year?
Okay. I like this game. All
right. So let's see. Let's start off with some big names. Left tackle Trent Williams.
Okay. I'm shooting from the hip here. I'm saying yes because I don't think the Niners have a choice. I think they got to kind of give him whatever he wants. They just give him a blank check and he writes it out. Do you agree? I want to play that game. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree. Even though he's going to be really expensive.
Super duper expensive.
Corner Richard Sherman.
No, goodbye. See you later,
bye.
Richard Sherman. He even said so. He's like, don't expect to see me back.
I know. I'm gonna miss him though.
Yeah.
Okay. D.N. Solomon Thomas.
No. They should have cut him years ago. They should have cut C.J. Beathard years ago. I know you're going to bring him up, but I think the Niners are, instead of admitting a mistake, they're just going to let them sort of like disappear from the building. Like what?
Yeah.
So no, I'm saying no.
Okay. Jaquaski Tart.
That's an interesting one. That is an interesting one because my initial instinct is no, but that's because I'm thinking he's going to want $8-9 million a year. He may not. He's a very simple guy. He likes to fish. When someone asked him what his favorite vacation spot was, he said like Utah. He's a very understated dude. He might like to come back to the 49ers and play for $3 million. It might be possible. I'm not going to write that. In fact, I'm going to say he's coming back. He's coming back. They're going to find a way to bring back Jaquaski Tart.
I say no. I think he's going to ask for way too much money.
You're probably right.
I really hope he comes back, but fullback Kyle Juszczyk.
Deuces. Gonna need too much. He would have to. Same thing with Tart. He would have to come back for a major discount. Maybe he wants to. Maybe he likes the Bay Area that much.
I don't know.
When he was basically crying at his exit press conference,
I saw that.
That to me is. I was thinking, well, the Niners just told you what they're going to offer you, and you basically can't accept it. So you're like, man, this is really over. I didn't know it was going to go out like that. So I'm thinking he's going to sign with one of these teams that has like Shanahan disciples that just has more cap space.
Probably.
He'll take his guy. I don't know which team it'll be, but Cincinnati.
Running back Tevin Coleman.
Goodbye.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
See you. If they re-sign him, I'm going to lose my mind.
Same.
I'm going to throw a shoe at my wall. I don't even root for the team. Tevin Coleman, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, Tevin Coleman. Kendrick Bourne.
I think he's going to get a nice contract somewhere else, $5-6 million a year. I think the Niners are probably offering $3-4 million, and he'll get $5-6 million somewhere else.
Damn, I like him. He's like
me too.
Yeah,
he's reliable. He doesn't miss games unless he has COVID, but that's not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player when he doesn't drop the ball.
True. That one game, oh my God. I was like, no.
But so he's the kind of guy who could drop the easy pass, but he's also the dude on the team that you throw to in the end zone on the Hail Mary.
Right? He makes it hard.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I like
him.
Yeah.
I think Juwan Jennings could take his spot. Like, wasn't he supposed to be like Kendrick Bourne?
He's supposed to. He just hasn't done anything like Kendrick. He's got to step it up. He wasn't good in camp, so he's got to step it up.
Guard Tom Compton.
No.
No.
I don't think so. Although you never know because he's going to be cheap, and the Niners like shopping for cheap offensive linemen. You never know. God.
Ronald Blair.
Ooh. Possible. He missed a whole year. He spent his entire career here. He's not going to be expensive. I'm sure the Niners will give him an offer, and he may not be able to find a better one on the market. So yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
As opposed to, well, we'll get to more names later. I'm going to say yes on Ronald Blair.
Center Ben Garland.
Yes, because they need a center, and I don't think they can trust Weston Richburg, and I think Ben Garland will be cheap enough. He didn't play this year.
True.
I think they'll bring him back. I don't know if he'll make the team, but I think they'll bring him back.
I really like this dude, Kerry Hyder.
I think he priced himself out. I don't think he'll give the Niners a discount. I think he'll go somewhere that gives him the highest amount of. And these pass rushers that come off a season with 8-9 sacks get paid, so he's going to cash in. Goodbye, Kerry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had him and not drafted Kinlaw. Like
Kinlaw was okay.
Jerick McKinnon.
Goodbye. No explanation needed.
Jordan Reed.
Goodbye.
Really?
They tried it. They tried. To me, they have good tight ends. I mean, Dwelly's fine. Kittle's good. Werner is fine. Reed was injured. He misses games every season. He seems like a little bit of a diva too. Like when he doesn't get the ball, he'll like throw his helmet and stuff. Like, dude, get the hell out of here. Also, the fact that he was basically a healthy scratch the last 2 games seems to be an indicator that he's not in the Niners' future plans. I'm just projecting here. I don't think he's coming back.
Oh, okay. Corner Jason Verrett
priced himself out. They need to resign him. And if they can cut Jimmy Garoppolo, then they could bring back Jason Verrett. But as the first caller side pointed out, the Niners are just stuck with Jimmy G. They can't cut their franchise quarterback to make room on the roster for a 30-year-old cornerback who's had injury issues as well. They can't, but he's a hell of a player. They're going to lose him.
Okay. I was hoping you would say
that's the Jimmy Garoppolo effect right there.
Okay. Akella Witherspoon. He's been balling out these past 2 games.
Yeah, I get the feeling. There's been rumors that he kind of has like a grudge against the team and wants to leave, kind of like Dante Pettis. I think he might benefit from a new start somewhere else. I'm guessing he's going to leave.
Okay.
Because you think about it, if Saleh leaves, there's going to be a new defensive coordinator, a new defensive backs coach, and there could be a whole new philosophy. They might be a man-to-man coverage team. They might be, who knows what the new guy wants to do. They might need all different types of defensive backs. Maybe they might want small cornerbacks, stuff like that. So Akello might not even fit the upcoming scheme. Think about it that way.
Dan, if we don't have Verrett or Akello, damn, we are so dry at corner.
Mosley. That's it. Yeah.
And he couldn't even cover
anyone. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Center Haranis Grasu.
Gone.
Oh, okay.
Worthless.
Jamar Taylor.
Coming off a torn ACL he had late in the season. I don't even think he's going to play next year.
Jordan Willis. I actually kind of liked him.
Yeah, I'll bring him back. He's good. Deion Jordan, same. Bring him back. These are nice little, like, to me, that's what you have Chris Kosarick for. You don't need to spend top dollar on defensive linemen to give to your expensive defensive line coach. You can get bargain bin defensive linemen, and he'll coach them up. Look what he did for Deion Jordan, Jordan Willis, Kentavious Street, Darian Daniels. That is the Chris Kosarick effect. Yeah, bring back Deion Jordan.
Okay. CJ Beathard.
Goodbye.
Really?
Goodbye. Yes.
Okay. Then the rest of these are like restricted, like Ross Drully or
he'll come back.
Emmanuel Mosley. So
he'll come back. All the restricted guys will come back.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson Jr., Brunskill,
Robert Craigcraft.
Probably.
Not DJ Jones. He's not restricted.
No.
Josh Rosen.
Maybe. One thing, the Niners should have played him week 17. What would you have lost? What would have been the downside? See something. Missed opportunity.
I guess Kyle wanted to prove that CJ is actually what he wanted it to be.
He proved it too. He really proved it.
Yeah.
All right, man. I got to get to some other callers, but this was a lot of fun. This was a cool game, man. Good idea.
All right.
Thanks for coming on the show, man. See you soon. Late. That was a good idea. I like that. That dude was prepared. All right, JG Skirt.
Cool.
What's up? How you doing,
what's up, man? Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
First question I got is kind of just out of the blue. I saw a post from Bleacher Report. What are the odds you think Frank Gore signs back for just one last veteran minimum deal with the 49ers?
I mean, I know Jose Sanchez on my site wrote an article saying it would be the thing to do. I don't think Kyle Shanahan would want to coach him, man. Kyle Shanahan likes fast running backs. His running backs are consistently the fastest players on his offense.
That are always getting hurt.
Plays.
That are always getting hurt. Frank Gore
I'm just saying,
not miss a game.
So you think they should do it?
Yeah, and I feel like they owe it to the fans. I mean, they've missed on so many picks, put us through so much pain the past 3 years. I mean, what would it kill you to give him a veteran minimum deal? You gave Jerick McKinnon $30 million. You gave Eric Armstead $85 million.
I'm not against it. If he wants to take a vet min deal, sure. Come on back, dude.
Okay.
He can stay healthy at least. Because, he's better than Jerick McKinnon. So, hey, fair.
Come on, set a set up. All right, I got you. Bruce Ken, I'll set up.
All right.
With the draft, I mean, Kinlaw obviously is a freak of nature, but he's not anything special. Do you think they regret not taking Tristan Wirfs, who was so good?
I don't think they regret it because the Niners don't admit to making bad mistakes. I regret them not taking Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah,
Tristan Wirfs is a stud. Like he could be the next Trent Williams or close to it. And the Niners passed on him to take a run stuffer. Like I like Javon Kinlaw. He does his job well, but he's not a pass rusher. Yes,
No.
if they don't regret it now, they're going to regret it in the future.
Yeah, no, Kyle doesn't even think McGlinchey's job's
I know. It takes them like 5 years to realize they messed up. Oh, my God, we should have taken Patrick Mahomes. It's just dawning on us.
Deshaun Watson, now they're trying to make up for it. With that being said, I know you say the Niners, if they trade for Deshaun Watson, that you think they'll end up like the Texans. I actually think otherwise.
Tell me.
First of all, we don't have Bill O'Brien, who is one of the worst decision makers ever. And we don't have Cal McNair as an owner. We don't have a cancerous organization. Like players seem to love playing for John and Kyle. And I mean, I don't know. I just think the culture over here is better overall. That if we didn't have first round picks, it's not like we're hitting on them.
Let me ask you a question about Deshaun though, because in the NBA, it's accepted for players to do what Deshaun did, to say, "I want to pick the GM. I want to pick the head coach. This is my team."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, James Harden acts like that.
Yeah, James Harden,
to an extent, LeBron James acts like that.
LeBron James owns the league. He owns the whole league. He owns the league.
No one in the NFL acts like that, though. Tom Brady never did that in New England. He was always part of the, he fell in line like a soldier. He would take orders. And so all I'm asking is, I mean, by NFL standards, Deshaun Watson is a diva. And if this dude wants to pick the GM, then you don't know what he's going to want to do next year, honestly.
Yeah, but I think and with Brady's cases, they have rings. They were in the playoffs. Belichick was. It's not like the choices he was making was like questionable, and you're wondering. The results were always there. With Texans, you're like, what are you doing? None of this is paying off. Like, yeah, I see the choices you're making, but they're not even correct. Bill O'Brien making him the GM. Like, I don't even think Deshaun wanted to pick the coach and GM. He just wanted input, and they didn't even bother. So it's like they don't even respect him as a quarterback.
Fair enough.
I honestly would trade 2 first, Jimmy, and then either Kinlaw or Greenlaw, since they need to rebuild over there, give them a young cheap piece, and to hell with it. Let's start over with Deshaun.
I don't think much of Kinlaw, and I don't think much of Jimmy. So that to me, you're just unloading Jimmy's contract. Great. Kinlaw, I don't think is worth much. The first
round pick. I mean, maybe the Texans, they'll be like, all right, we'll start fresh with the new defensive piece and a quarterback. And then the Nick Cassero, he drafted Jimmy, right? In New England.
He did.
Yeah, so I think, there's a small connection there. If we were to get Deshaun Watson, easily 25-point game average defense. I think if we were to get Deshaun Watson, all you would have to focus on in future drafts would be defense, because we have Kittle locked up for 6 years. Ayuk on the next 4 years is relatively cheap for a first round pick. And he's mobile. I really do think. It's not like he has a great offensive line with the Texans right now, and he's doing all right. I think he'll make McGlinchey look better.
Hey, maybe look, I wouldn't trade for Deshaun Watson, but I'm, I guess, a little conservative in this, and maybe that's the wrong move. Maybe trading for Watson is the right move. I just feel like put yourself in Nick Casario's shoes. You just got hired as the general manager. First move you're going to do as general manager of the Texans is to lose Deshaun Watson. That's on your resume forever.
I can't put I don't know what goes through
put your name by that. Wouldn't you actually feel like your first job is to like work it out with Watson? Right? That's your job. Yeah. Hey man, I know you don't like me. I know I'm not the guy you wanted, but let me tell you, I want to work with you. We're gonna make this work. Let's collaborate on who the coach should be. I want to have a working relationship with you, Deshaun. That's Casario's job right now. He better be doing that.
Yeah, I just don't think he's that type of guy.
Maybe
from what they make this sound like.
Well, then he's gonna end up failing, and he's gonna be a joke like Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, because I think the Niners need a quarterback. I know you say we could plug in Trubisky, and I don't think we need a mid-level. We've had mid-level quarterbacks all of the 2010s, and it's gotten us absolutely.
Hey, just remember, Deshaun Watson was the 12th pick in the draft. The Niners have the 12th pick right now. Watson came out. He was not a consensus stud. There was a lot of questions about him. He threw a lot of picks in college. He went.
I thought he was proven. He beat Alabama's defense.
In retrospect, it was obvious, but at the time, he felt
said he's the next Michael Jordan. All the signs were there. The one that I don't get is Mahomes. Everyone was saying, "All right, he's questionable." I get that. Watson, he was a proven winner in college. He had coaches vouching for him, saying he's the next Michael Jordan. Like I don't know where they went wrong with that. It takes Solomon.
I'm just saying, every year the NFL talks itself out of really good players, and guys drop to the 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th pick.
Mac Jones for the
and
Niners.
so instead of trading everything to get some guy who's proven, you might just get the next guy at 12, is what I'm saying. So what's important is to like scout correctly. Mac Jones, it could be. I don't think it is, but I don't know.
Watching him during the college football, I just feel like Kyle Shanahan was drooling over him. I mean, he can play action. He's accurate.
He should be drooling over that offensive line, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, they have a center who I hope they get the center. He looks like a tank, and we have no center.
You can't draft running backs in round 1 anymore because it doesn't make sense. But honestly,
the Niners had
Najee Harris.
The Niners should never draft a running back under Kyle Shanahan.
But if the Niners had Najee Harris, that would solve a lot of problems. Honestly.
And he's Bay Area. He's straight out of the Bay Area. He's a freak. I remember hearing about him in high school, and I was like, "There's no way he's going to be that good." And then he's Alabama. He's even better.
My wife was working out in Pittsburgh when he was in high school in Antioch, and the Pittsburgh High beat whatever high school he went to when he was there, and it was like Mardi Gras in Pittsburgh. We beat Najee Harris.
Yeah,
I've never heard of this guy, man.
No, Peters High School. They played him and they beat him, and I remember everyone was going crazy. I was like,
"Oh my god!"
They're like, "Oh, did we just beat a god?" And it's Najee Harris. And fast forward.
All right, man. I gotta keep it moving and get some more people on here. But hey,
sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff, dude. Thanks for coming on again.
Yeah, of course.
All right. If you've been waiting, I appreciate you. Kai, you're next.
Awesome.
What's up, Kai? How you doing, man? I know you've been waiting for a while.
No worries. I've been watching you for a long time and reading you all the way back since hardball and everything.
I appreciate it, man.
Really been on the come up. I've really been impressed with what you've been doing the past year. Me and my cousin are big fans.
Thanks, man.
So anyway, I have a lot of things I think about the Shanahan regime. When I watch you and Vish on Mondays, you guys seem to have a very similar opinion. One of the biggest things that really bothers me is talking about the quarterbacks and his scheme. The excuse has always been, and we always heard it, oh, give them 2 or 3 years. They're going to be so great. They need to just figure everything out. And once they got it down, CJ Beathard, he's going to look like Kirk Cousins 2.0. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. But it didn't happen.
Terrible. Another thing, like Jimmy, he was at his absolute best when he knew almost nothing in the offense, and Kyle hadn't done anything to him. And his quarterbacking has actually gone worse. If you look at his foot movement, everything, mechanics, it's so much worse.
You could argue that being exposed to Kyle Shanahan is the worst thing that ever happened to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing when it comes to drafting a first-round quarterback, which I totally agree with you. Every freaking year, you should pretty much be taking one these days. But that being said, when they get one,
Josh Allen, expect?
Exactly. Yeah. Josh Allen coming out was not that great. This guy Brian Daboll gets him, turns him into a superstar. In contrast, we somehow seem to have the worst possible coaches on the planet. So I'm personally a big Trey Lance guy, but we'll see what happens.
If CJ Beathard regressed, why would Trey Lance improve? And it may not be all Kyle Shanahan's fault because honestly, he's not coaching the quarterback.
No, I think
he hired the quarterback coach.
Exactly, whoever it is. They used to have Shane Day. I don't know who.
No, it's Shane Day. It is Shane Day.
Okay. Yes. God, he's not doing it.
Not cutting it.
Yeah, no, I think Kyle's great. Another thing I will say, you give Kyle some crap when it comes to the whole Saleh dynamic, but I heard Lynch talking about him the other day, and apparently when Saleh came in, he's this guy who was practically going to be working for Wells Fargo, and he suddenly, pivots to football, right?
Yes.
He doesn't know a lot of stuff. Apparently, he was just regurgitating exactly what Pete Carroll had, and then Shanny came to him and was like, hey, man, there's all this stuff that really would give me a lot of trouble. You should start implementing it. And they actually collaborated together, and that's what led to the whole new hybrid.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Look, I think one of the best things that Shanahan's done in his life is not only identify Saleh, but let's say develop Saleh.
Yes.
Develop Saleh. And not just develop Saleh, but stick by him when everyone in the world, including me, said fire this dude.
He would have gotten so many brownie points with the media, with fans. Everyone was just calling. So I think that shows, because I've been the biggest critic of his arrogance and his own kind of ego, like letting guys like Tevin Coleman start over Raheem, et cetera, et cetera. But that gives me hope that there's room for growth, and he can take a guy like D'Amico or whoever and develop them into another Saleh, hopefully.
All I would say is, Kyle, if you can do it with Robert Saleh, why can't you do it with your quarterback coach? Precisely. Why can't you do it with your offensive line coach? Man, those guys are not good enough. Get some better ones. I don't care if they're your friend. I don't care.
Exactly. There seems to be too much of this whole camaraderie thing in the whole team. With Ted Taylor and all these guys, they're just there because they're nice guys. It's like you're in a Super Bowl. Yeah, does George Kittle need his friends on the team? Come on, they can hang out after class. When you're paying a guy that amount of money, it really doesn't matter whether or not he's having a good time. Another thing I have to say is the contracts. That's one of the biggest things that pisses me off is Eric Armstead. You had this guy for years. If you really liked him, you could have easily got him at a really discounted level because of all the injuries. They wait till he has his perfect season, pay him the maximal amount. They're trying to really screw themselves. And then you look at D Ford, one great season, give the guy a record.
Everything.
you know, and then meanwhile you have a guy like DeForest Buckner who's literally not missed a game, you know, played through everything, just the stalwart of the team, unbelievable leader, and he just, you know, hey, here's the door, have a good one.
It's not quite good. We haven't seen enough, DeForest. Sorry. We're going to have to spend 85% of what you're asking for on a player who has no resume. Thanks a lot.
Exactly. And I think that just sends the worst possible message to the team. So, you know, we'll see what happens with a guy like Fred Warner. And
the message it sends is if you do everything right, like DeForest Buckner, your ass is out of here. Exactly. If you just come in the last season and put together like a few good games before you really exam, you're a lifer.
Yeah, Shanny's that guy. It's like, you know, the girl who wants to talk to him, he just completely ignores her. But if she's, you know, playing hard to get, that's when he'll get the big bucks out.
Good call. Good call. You definitely got the psychology of Shanny down, which is fun.
I think we both do, but I'm hoping to see some room for growth because I really do believe that, you know, beyond all the ego and everything else, when it purely comes down to just, you know, intelligence and understanding scheme, I think that maybe besides Kansas City, like the 49ers are that team.
I agree. Here's the thing. I've been thinking about it a lot, talking about it with coaches. Here's the difference between a coordinator and a head coach. All right. Yeah. The coordinator's job is to have a million ideas. It's like, hey, we're going against the Chiefs this week. Okay, I got these 20 runs for 1st and 10. We got these 30 passes for the red zone. I love okay, you got all these. You're just pouring with ideas. That's great. And the head coach comes in and says, okay. I like these 2 on 1st and 10. I like this one in the red. Your job is not to come up with ideas, is to make decisions.
Implement them.
And that's where he falls short. He's got all the ideas. When Sean McVay needs an idea, he steals it from Kyle. But what makes Sean such a good head coach is he's actually a terrific decision maker. And the thing is, you don't have to be 40. Sean McVay is 34. That's the kind of thing, it's almost intrinsic. You have it or you don't. Sean has it. I wonder if Kyle does. In fact,
I heard you talking about that the other day, and it's funny you say that. Literally texting my cousin last night, like, I love Sean McVay, so underrated, et cetera, et cetera. But the whole point being, you really do have that mindset or you don't. And I am very skeptical that Kyle will really grow beyond
Think about the military. There are very high-ranking people in the military that make executive decisions who are like 24.
Yeah. And they have to order the guys who are double their age.
That's right. Yeah. So come on. I mean, Sean has it now. If Kyle doesn't have it yet, I got to wonder, man, maybe you're just the idea guy. Yeah. Maybe you're the guy who needs the guy to come in and be like, no, we're not going to do this week. We're going to do this. I don't know. And
my thing is, I feel like with a guy with that level of talent, you just keep him in regardless because, you know, if they were to get rid of him, he would still be the #1 guy in every coach. So
no doubt.
My thing is you get some intermediary dude, not a John Lynch, but someone who can actually like get in there, be involved with the offense and the coordinating and be like, you know, the voice of reason in the room and say, hey, Kyle, you know, I get that you want to run like these 8 different random pass plays, but look, our quarterback's getting freaking sacked. Let's just chill out.
Let's run the ball. No, here's the problem with Kyle. If you fire him, he could end up being the coach of the next Hall of Fame quarterback. Like Matt LaFleur in Green Bay isn't good. He just has Aaron Rodgers. And so now everyone's going to think Matt LaFleur is good. If you put Kyle Shanahan on the Packers, they'd win the Super Bowl because he has Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know if he's ever going to get a quarterback like that here, but he could get it in his next stop. And now you're done. You look
I think all those problems become far less relevant. It's kind of easy.
Same thing for his dad. Like his dad wasn't that great, but if you give him John Elway, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. And it goes back to the main point of this, which is just get a freaking quarterback.
Get a freaking quarterback. I don't know how you're going to do it, but find it.
I'm hoping, man. We'll see.
Who?
Trey Lance.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see what he does with the combine. The senior
was not that great, but he had an unreal arm and he was fast. So, you know, we'll see.
He did. All right, Kai. Good stuff, dude.
Everyone, happy birthday.
All right. Thanks, man. That was a strong call. Johnny Tapia. What's up, dude? How you doing? You are muted. You got to unmute yourself. You got to click the little microphone button.
There you go. Happy birthday, Grant.
Thanks, man.
How are you? I just wanted to ask a couple questions, quick ones, because I gotta go.
Okay.
So can we trade Armstead in the future somehow? And if that's possible, what's his trade value?
I think he's hard to trade because he's making so much money and he didn't produce this year. He gave you 3 sacks and he's making $17 million a year. I think he's like kind of in the NBA where you got a good player with a bad contract. I think he would need to have a season where he produced before you can move him. He's property of the 49ers for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. It was disappointing season by him.
Yeah.
I was angry. Anyways, should we take a QB or corner in the first round?
I'm going to hedge and say both. What I would do is trade down from 12. I would trade down and see if I can get another first round pick and take both. I'm in favor of taking a quarterback in the first round, like almost every year, unless you have a great guy. You got to keep drafting him. The draft is an inexact science. If you don't give yourself opportunities to take that guy, you're never going to get that guy.
Yeah.
But if the Niners don't have any cornerbacks, and signing them is very difficult. They could sign a guy like Xavier Rhodes, who's 30. They could try to re-sign Jason Verrett. I mean, they got to trade down. I think they got to trade down and get both.
They haven't drafted them in years in the first round.
You could take a corner in like the early second, but once you get past the 40th pick, because the idea is if you're trying to get a corner who can cover the best wide receivers in the world, man to man, why do you expect the third round pick to have that type of talent? You needed a real athlete to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's basically it, Grant. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, man. Good stuff. And you waited forever, man. I appreciate you for having me. I mean, for coming on, man. Good stuff. He had to bounce. Ruben, this is kind of scary.
Oh, what's up, Grant?
What's up, man?
I've been
talking to your fan.
Oh yeah, that's my fan. I don't want to show my face.
Okay,
okay. You can see my hair.
All right, that's fair.
I've been watching you in the off season, like where I first started watching you.
Off
season, and you kind of know me sometimes, but like that's okay. I like some of your points as well.
Hey, I'm here to annoy you sometimes, but only sometimes.
Yeah, you're here to annoy all the 49er fans. And the thing I want to talk about was I never hear you guys talk about this guy a lot, and that's Dak Prescott.
Love Dak Prescott. He's just super expensive.
We could probably get him for like the same deal as Jimmy Garoppolo. He just had a $30 million 1-year contract with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
People call him trash or anything for having some bad stats this year, but he only played 6 games. And
I love Dak Prescott. He's really good. He's not trash. He is a top 10 quarterback, borderline top 5. Let me just tell you though. Here's the thing: when was the last quarterback who was as good as Dak actually hit free agency? Who? I don't think it's ever happened, man. I think the best quarterback who's ever hit free agency is Kirk Cousins, and he got a fully guaranteed deal. Fully guaranteed.
He got a lot of money.
Dak, even coming off, dude, I don't think that NFL teams are worried about a broken leg. It'll heal. He'll get $40 million a year. He's going to get something crazy. That's the problem. When these quarterbacks don't hit unrestricted free agency ever. Same with left tackles. Trent Williams is going to get a ton of money, man. That's the thing. Dak is going to make the cash.
He's still really young. Like he's
really good. If
he can run the ball, he would be a perfect place for in the front.
He's almost just as good as Deshaun Watson. I mean,
he can throw the ball. He has really good accuracy and he can run. Maybe he can't run as good as he did.
He's super confident. He's a great leader. I really like Dak Prescott.
Like, have you ever seen one of his plays? You can like just see him eyeballing the whole defense, just reading that zone, and then just like he's really smart. He's really smart.
If the Niners could get him for like 20 to 25 million, I would do it. But
that's what I was thinking.
He's going to end up costing you 45 million, and he's not worth it, man. No quarterback's worth that. I believe that.
Yeah.
Anyway, because I mean, look, he wasn't even making that much money the last few years, and he still couldn't do much in Dallas. Now he's going to be making 50. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he'd be a really good way to for a foreigner to get a quarterback like that.
Hell yeah, they should have drafted him. Ruben, no, you're giving me vertigo. I got to stop looking at your thing. But it's been good having you on.
Thank you, Grant.
All right, Ruben. Rohan, how you doing, Rohan?
Can you hear me?
Hey, yes.
Oh, wow.
How are you?
Happy birthday, first of all.
Thank you.
So, a few weeks ago, I think it was, after the Kyle Juszczyk press conference, Vish and you were talking, and I think Vish said something about how Jalen Hurd can play fullback. And
Jalen Hurd.
Or Hurd, yeah.
Yeah.
And that just, I like the idea of that, because he played running back at Tennessee, I think.
Yep.
And then he's the wide receiver too. So that's how they kind of use the fullbacks. So, what do you think about
I think he has the frame for it. I think he has the play style for it. He's a violent dude. He's an angry, violent dude. Only thing is that I know he tore his ACL this year. The year before, he had a broken back. And he missed a whole year with a stress fracture in his neck. There are a lot of head-on violent collisions at fullback. And I don't know if the Niners want to, risk it. I don't know if his body can necessarily. I don't know if he's ever going to get on the field ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, given what his body's been through, you might be like, you know what? Maybe we don't do that with Jay. I don't know. Give him a chance, but I'm a little nervous. That being said, though, if you play him at running back ever, he'd have to take those collisions when he was picking up blitzes. So I mean, might be something he has to do anyway. It's possible, man.
Yeah, well, he switched to wide receiver because he knew he couldn't take those hits anymore.
Exactly.
So he might just be one of those players. And I mean, the 49ers could have taken Terry McLaurin, but they chose him. So I mean, I don't want to see him just like rot on the bench or.
Well, I mean, he's going to have to block if he's playing running back for them. He's going to have to block one way or another. There's going to be a lot of plays where he lines up it in the slot and then motions back to running back. And there are plays where like they'll have Debo catch a pitch. He'll come around and then the lead blocker will be Jeff Wilson Jr. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but they do that a lot. So that's in the playbook. If Jalen Hurd is on the team, he's going to have to do stuff like that. And I think that's when the Niners drafted Jalen Hurd. Someone asked Kyle, is he a wide receiver? And he said, yes, kind of. We had a player like this in Washington named Niles Paul, who we drafted as a wide receiver and ended up being a fullback. He said that the day they drafted him. So I think that's where people get the idea. He said it himself. I don't know if his body will let him do it, but I think that was the idea, that he could kind of be this player who could do everything on offense. He could kind of be a tight end. He could kind of be a slot guy. He could kind of be both types of running backs. That's the allure of having him in the first place.
And then another question, Gus Bradley got hired today. So if Saleh ends up leaving, like, do you think they need to have a replacement ready to go? Because these guys,
I think they do have a replacement ready to go. I think it's probably DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably the best they can do. I think Bradley would have been better because he has more experience. I think, Ryans has been groomed. He's very smart. He's 2 years younger than Saleh was when Saleh started. He's not very experienced, even as a position coach. I think he's been one for 2 years. So he probably will have some growing pains. That defense will probably take a step back. And this is supposed to be a Super Bowl ready team. Are you willing to put up with that? I wouldn't. But what are your options now? You lost Gus Bradley. And the thing about Bradley that I don't think people realize, with these assistant coaches, they don't make a ton of money. They're not making $4 or $5 million a year. So going to Nevada, which is a tax-free state, is a big deal, right? Because if he gets the same offer from the Niners in California and from the Raiders in Nevada, is probably a 20% raise to go to the Raiders. So he just got a lot of money. That's why he went to the Raiders.
Yeah, but he'll probably be a lot more successful if he's on the Niners and, could get a head coaching job.
That's true, because John Gruden is a clown and only drafts for offense. Yeah, it's gonna be a bad time. Mm-hmm. You're right. Hey, thanks for waiting long to ask your questions. These are good ones.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
The idea of Jalen Hurd is very interesting. I hope he gets on the field one day. Mm-hmm. All right, Rohan,
thank you.
Take care. All right. Horatio, I'm gonna get to you, but I gotta get Francesco real quick because he's calling from Italy.
Hi, Grant. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
How are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
I just want to ask you two quick questions.
One
regarding Deshaun Watson. Maybe you talk about him earlier in the show because I connected a little bit later.
Okay.
And the second is regarding Fred Warner.
Okay.
With Deshaun Watson, I just want to ask you something. Do you think the 49ers have a chance to get Deshaun Watson?
I do think they have a chance to get Deshaun Watson. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Because I have a very strong opinion on him.
Tell me.
I think this is a defining moment for the 49ers because we have a chance to get a future Hall of Famer quarterback in his 20s. And we have to solve the problem of the quarterback one for all time because it has been I started watching the 49ers in 1992 when I was 10 years old here in Italy. And we have never had a great quarterback since Jeff Garcia, probably.
Yeah, Jeff Garcia, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a defining moment. And I'm very afraid that this organization will fail again in his as he did in all the defining moments in the last 20 years, because we have a chance to get Peyton Manning, and we didn't. We had a chance to have Tom Brady, and we didn't. We didn't draft Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
We had a chance for Aaron Rodgers, and we failed. So this is my fear, that we're going to fail again. Maybe other teams will have a better package for Deshaun Watson. I don't know what it's going to take to get him. Probably it's going to take 3 future first-round picks, 3 second. They are not going to ask for Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo is going to get cut. I think
I agree with you on that. Jimmy doesn't have any value. In fact, he probably has negative value.
Jimmy's not. Doesn't have any value. All this stuff about the Nick Caserio relationship with Jimmy doesn't make sense.
No.
If I'm the Houston Texans, the last quarterback I just would like to have is Jimmy Garoppolo with this contract.
Hold on, let me talk. See, I'm against trading for Deshaun Watson because I don't like the idea of trading 7 picks. But if you could trade some players and keep some picks, would you trade Fred Warner?
Yes.
To get Deshaun Watson? Would you trade Nick Bosa to get Deshaun Watson? These are questions you can ask. Now I'm interested.
I've talked with two of your friends. I've tweeted to Vish in the last couple of days. I tweeted with Ryan Sakamoto about this topic. I would do it. I would trade Fred Warner because I think that these two topics are very related. I have an opinion about Fred Warner that is also related to DeForest Buckner. I think that if he asks for $20 million to play mid linebacker for this team, he's gone. He will be traded. No chance that this team is going to pay $20 million a player to play mid linebacker.
It's just like they didn't play $20 million for Buckner to play defensive.
Exactly.
Fair enough. They might be okay with paying him 18, 17,
absolutely.
But 20, I think they might draw the line. So here's the thing. They could offer Fred Warner.
Yeah.
They could offer a couple of first-round picks and see where they get. Yes, hey, look, if they could do that, I wouldn't criticize them.
Because I think that regarding Fred Warner, which was the same with DeForest Buckner, they had a number in mind for DeForest Buckner. And when DeForest Buckner said that, I hoped that they would meet me in the middle between what I asked and what their number. It means that they had a number, and they have a number for Fred Warner.
I think it's 18. I think Richard Sherman already said it.
He's 15, 16, 17, whatever it is. Yeah. If he asks for more than 20 million, he's going to get traded. Yep. And I think I would do it in an heartbeat, because with Deshaun Watson, we have a core on offense that is Deshaun Watson. We have Ayuk, we have Debo, we have Kittle, we have maybe Trent Williams, maybe. You can put any running back, any undrafted running back that you want in that offense. It doesn't matter. You can draft. You can take. You can put any running back in this offense. It's not a problem. You can draft for middle of the offensive line, which is something that you will never draft an offensive lineman with the first two picks in a draft. So you can draft the third round, fourth round for the middle of the offensive line. And then on defense, you have Bosa, you have Kinlaw. I would like to have 2 cornerbacks.
Greenlaw is good.
Greenlaw, we are set. I mean, it's sad maybe to part ways with Fred Warner, but I mean, in Europe there is an expression that is taken from economics from the president of the Central Bank of Europe. Yeah. 2 years ago, he said when there was the problem I work in a bank, so there was a problem with the foreign debt here in Europe, and he said, we're going to do whatever it takes to save the euro. And this is the same, whatever it takes to get Deshaun Watson. This is my opinion.
Look, I don't like that. I wouldn't want to trade 4 years worth of picks, but trading Warner, trading a middle linebacker,
in an heartbeat.
Into that. I'd say that's a very clever solution. Let's see if they do it. Let's see if they do it. Especially if he holds a hard line at 20 million. They're like, okay, hold on. Let me trade you real quick.
unfortunately, I have an opinion. This organization is not very good at hitting at the right moment.
That's true.
I am a fan also of the Los Angeles Lakers, and for whatever you can say about this organization, which is probably not the best organization in the NBA, but they hit in the right moment. They sign Shaq when it's time. They draft Kobe when it's time. They trade for AD when it's the right time. They trade for Gasol when it's the right time. They sign LeBron when it's the right time. And it's something in the last 25 years, San Francisco has not been able to hit at the right time.
No. Well, Jed, if you're listening, Kyle, if you're listening, thank you. Thank Francesco from Italy because he just laid it out.
Thank you, Grant. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Great stuff. Take care. All right. Horatio, what's up?
What up, what up?
What up, what up? What's going on?
How you been?
I've been great, man. How you been?
Good, good. So my question to you is, were the 2019 49ers overrated? They got exposed in the Super Bowl, so.
Yes, they were overrated. I mean, locally, people talk about them like it was this magical, historical season. They lost the Super Bowl. Who cares? That's the story of the 2019 season. They lost the Super Bowl.
And
it wasn't really that special of a year. Yes.
Well, the question is, other than the injuries and the money, why don't you like Jimmy Garoppolo?
Other than the injuries and the money, I do like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's always been really nice to me. You can go up to him in the locker room and talk to him, and he'll talk to you like a normal person. He's basically he seems down to earth. He seems basically nice. He seems like the kind of guy in high school who was the most popular kid in school, but also friends with everyone. Like the kind of guy that you kind of hate, but you feel bad about yourself for hating because he's so nice. It's really, you just hate yourself for not being as cool as him or something. So I guess that's it. But I just feel like the reason I'm pro the Niners getting rid of him is I look at him as like, a competent starting quarterback that you're paying. I mean, he was the highest paid quarterback in the league for a little bit. You're paying him to be elite, and he's really not. And you can get quarterbacks to do the same level of performance on a rookie contract. Look at Baker Mayfield. He's better than Jimmy Garoppolo and cheaper. That's what I would be looking for I wouldn't want to be spending all this money on mediocrity, in my opinion.
And do you think Kyle Trask is better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
I do. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo can't even stay healthy. Jimmy Garoppolo can't throw downfield. Jimmy Garoppolo can't throw outside the numbers.
I don't like him.
He's also not mobile. He's also brittle.
Yeah, Kyle Trask ain't mobile.
Yeah, Kyle Trask isn't mobile. But he's not. I mean, he's just as much of a statue as Jimmy. I feel like Jimmy has a really bad feel for moving on the football field. Like once it's time for him to protect himself, he kind of freaks out. Kyle Trask is much more calm. He's 240 pounds. He can take the beating. I think he is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, like if you put Jimmy on Florida and said, hey, you got no offensive line, no run game, go tear it up, he wouldn't have made it through the season in the SEC, my opinion.
Yeah. I would rather draft a cornerback, honestly.
Me too, yeah. There's a lot of great cornerbacks this year.
Yeah.
So they got
that. Caleb Farley, he runs a 4.3. That's pretty good.
Yep. And then there's a dude from Alabama, Surtain. There's a dude from South Carolina, Joe Horn's son, JC. There's a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So which means you might be able to get a stud in round 2.
Any cornerback looks good with this D-line, honestly.
Exactly. Good point.
So, yeah. All right. I need to go to class already.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Right. Thanks, man. Peace. Oh. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, you're muted. You got to press the little microphone button. There you go.
Hey, Grant.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you.
I'm here from Chile.
Hey, all the way from Chile.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming.
I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things.
Sure.
First, I actually like Jimmy, partly because he's a good look for the team.
He is a good look for the team.
Even when he's playing, he kind of has that confidence.
He does.
But he totally lost it this year.
He did, right?
Yeah. Like, I was thinking last year, he was looking through his progressions and lots of plays. He was throwing. He even went deep every so often. But this year, he just lost it.
Yeah.
Was it the injury? Was it his O-line? Was it him being blamed for the Super Bowl? We don't know what it was.
I think it was a combination. The offensive line was terrible week 1. Getting blamed from the Super Bowl is hard. It's got to be hard because, again, the Super Bowl is unlike any other game. It's not like the whole world. It feels like the whole world watched it. And when you walk down the street, I've never lost a Super Bowl, but I'm just guessing. It feels like the whole world's like, dude, you blew it. I don't even know football, and it's your fault. And then to have your coach like, hey, it was your fault, and we were thinking about Tom Brady, that must be crushing.
Even my dad watched the game, and he's never seen a football game in his life.
Exactly. So, like, you go to the store, and it's like, man, the butcher is judging me. The butcher. It's like, come on, man. Can I just have my turkey?
I think if Jimmy gets another chance in another team or something like that, he could bounce back and be a very decent player. And I think that's one of the reasons Kyle Shanahan won't let him go.
I agree. He's stuck with him. He's scared to move on, and he's stuck. It's a funny thing. I mean, Kyle thought that this was his team. You know, we got this huge contract, and Jed said, do whatever you want. And then you make a couple decisions, and now you're stuck with something you didn't want in the first place. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Next, I want to criticize a couple of your points.
Bring it on.
Said before.
Bring it on.
You've talked about quarterbacks a lot lately. And one of the things you've said is that Shanahan needs a quarterback that first can hand the ball over and then just throw short passes through the middle. But that's not what Shanahan wants.
No,
we know what he wants. He does want to go deep.
He wants to go down the field. That's what CJ Beathard was supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what
Matt Ryan did.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, he could go deep. So he doesn't want a quarterback who can just throw the ball short and do a dink and dunk.
You're right.
So you do need, or in his eyes, he does need someone who can go deep, who can do it, because his plays aren't just short. He does lots of
play action bomb. He does.
Yeah,
he does.
So that has to be something that he's going to consider in the draft or trading.
Because one of his issues with Jimmy is that that's not part of his game.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Yeah,
Jimmy could only throw into an open, deep guy. Someone
got to be wide open.
Yeah.
Another
thing is the cap thing, the 13% cap. I agree with you.
Okay.
Even further, you said that it only could work with someone like Mahomes.
Right.
We don't even know that.
We don't even know that. That's the point.
Mahomes is doing really well right now, but he still isn't that expensive for
he's not.
Even though he has the big contract, it's backloaded.
Backloaded. Yep. That's to me like I don't know what the Chiefs were supposed to do. Do you trade Mahomes? Do you get rid of Mahomes? Probably not. But you're going to see if it works. Didn't work for the Seahawks.
Aaron Rodgers, I actually think Mahomes is a lot like Rodgers was when he was younger. He can move, he can improvise. He's not the most runner. He does run a bit, but he's more of
also complemented by this amazing team.
Yeah.
Like Rodgers was.
If the Chiefs start declining because they don't have any more money.
You take away Travis Kelce, what's that team look like?
Yeah. All the speedy wide receivers.
Yeah, I agree. Good point.
Finally, you were talking about maybe trading Warner or
let's talk about it.
What do you think Bosa's worth is now that he had the same injury he had in college?
What do you think?
I think it's gone down. Like he had an amazing season.
I think the Niners could have got maybe 2 first-round picks for him last year. Now, maybe mid-first.
Yeah.
First, late first. Yeah, I agree.
But it's
who has more value right now, Bosa or Warner?
Warner. I'd say Warner. He's played consistently at a really high level.
One thing that Bosa has going for him is he's still on his rookie contract for another 2 years.
And he's Bosa. He's
Bosa. It's true. He might get hurt again.
I would say a good trade would be those two for Watson and maybe something else.
Trade them both?
Yeah.
For Watson and maybe something else.
We've proven that we could work without Bosa in the front line.
That's true. It's a good point. Hey, I like it. The more we start talking about trading players instead of picks for Watson, the more I'm into it. Hey, fine. That's cool. I mean, again, though, the problem with Watson is dude's going to be really expensive pretty soon. He's going to be making 15, 16% of the cap. Well, we'll see.
It might be the same problem we talked about earlier.
The Niners might just become the Seahawks. But I guess it's better than being the Niners.
I actually think we just gamble on the draft. I just like the idea.
That's what I would do.
And well, I'm a newer fan. I followed the San Francisco 49ers because my name is Francisco, and in Chile we didn't have much of a following. So when we were kids, I was like, okay, that's my team. And I didn't follow them till last year, where I started at the beginning of the season, and they went really. It was like, oh, this team is great. And then I looked at the history, and it was like, oh, maybe it's just a one-time thing.
Maybe it's just a one-off. Yeah.
But I hope it's not.
Maybe you are the special, good luck charm.
Yeah. Hopefully. Well, it didn't work this year.
Well, you're 1 for 2.
It's better than Shanahan.
Hey, great call, man. Thanks for coming on. This was great. Talk to you soon.
Same.
That was good, man. That was good. All right, Rocco.
What's up, man?
You've been waiting for like 8 hours, man. How you doing?
Yes, I have. Happy birthday.
Thank you, man.
I've been a big fan of the show since I found you, I would say, at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So what I wanted to talk about was hypothetical trade packages for Watson. Right?
Yep.
This guy, he came in, he kind of stole my shine. Like I wanted to make the point, like Bosa and Warner for Watson.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a great trade because Bosa, you don't know if he's gonna be the same. Right, and if Warner asks for over 20 million, then you're broke again.
Mm-hmm. And you're spending more than you want to spend on a position that really isn't the most important.
Yeah, but Watson, you could have him for 10 years. Sure, you might be the Seahawks, but the Seahawks are always in the wild card, and the Seahawks don't have Kyle Shanahan, right?
That's a good point.
And another thing. Would you, if Wilson falls to 12, would you take him?
No, I wouldn't. I did a film breakdown of Wilson yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. I did it with Jack. Yeah. What'd you think of what you saw from him, man? He was 24 for 26 in that game. But you saw as a one-read guy, man.
Like I didn't watch a lot of film on him, but yesterday I watched that and I was like, what is everyone talking about? What's so great? Like he's throwing a bunch of curls and out routes.
He's a good athlete, but people don't realize how great that offensive line is. He's just doing whatever he wants. He holds the ball a very long time. I worry about his durability in the NFL. I worry about the speed of the game difference, how that's going to be for him. He's a good player, but I don't think he should start right away. To me, I don't think this class of quarterbacks is as good as everyone wants it to be. I think there's a real chance that Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields all bust and become long-term backups. The only guy who's surefire to me is Trevor Lawrence. I like Kyle Trask from Florida, but a lot of people don't. You got to be real careful with this draft. Got to be real careful.
Mm-hmm. And
Mac Jones, my God, dude. His job is going to be so much more difficult in the NFL, and people are going to be like, wow, he looks so good in college. Well, yeah.
This guy has a fort around him.
He's got the best team in the world around anyway.
Yeah. Do you think Kittle is touchable in a trade?
Oh, man. No, I don't think he is. He's the face of the team. He's the face of the team.
Yeah.
He came back and played in 2 meaningless games after getting hurt. I think he's almost untouchable. I think he's untouchable.
All right.
Good question, though. Maybe no one's untouchable. Maybe he shouldn't be, but I think he is.
Yeah. All right.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. You can't touch Kittle. Like, if you trade Kittle, what do you think the fans would say?
Yeah. As the first caller an hour and a half ago was saying, you lose the locker room if you cut Jimmy. Well, you might lose the locker room if you trade Kittle.
Yeah. And you're saying a topic was like, if you were to sign Tom Brady, and what do you think the fans would say if, Jimmy, everyone loved Jimmy last year, right? He threw for almost 4,000.
Everyone loved Jimmy last year.
Yeah. And you come in and you bring the person he was trying to get away from.
Yep.
I think they would hate it.
Yeah. And maybe they would have lost the locker room last year. Again, the Niners are really stuck with Jimmy in ways that they may not want to be. And again, I think the only way they can move on is if they do something crazy, like bring in Watson. Because then Niner fans would be like, okay, fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah.
And the last topic, what do you think an RPO offense with Lance, Mostert, Samuel, and maybe Ayuk for a few sweeps would look like?
It would be interesting. I mean, that's the best way to use Fields or Lance as a rookie, is to put them in the shotgun and have them run the ball a lot, like Cam Newton does. But I think that's what Kyle Shanahan did when he was forced to play RG3 10 years ago. I don't think that's the kind of offense he wants, because the way Shanahan thinks is he's all about creating explosive plays. And the RPO offense is not an explosive offense. It's a way to get 8-yard passes. It's a way to complete 70, 80% of your throws and move the chains. But it doesn't create explosive plays, because in RPO, the offensive line is blocking run, so the ball has to come out instantly. If you hold on to it too long, offensive lineman downfield, it's a penalty. Shanahan likes play action passes, which allow the quarterback to hold it longer and get the ball down the field. He wants explosive plays. That's what he wants to do. So that's why I'm thinking, like, guys, I don't think he's going to bring in Fields or Lance, because as you pointed, they need to be in the shotgun, running the ball, using their legs. And I think Kyle wants to throw down the field and have a quarterback who uses his legs as a last resort.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, Rocco.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. What's up, baby?
Hey,
How you
Grant,
doing?
what's up?
What's going on, dude?
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man.
How you doing?
Hey, thanks for inviting me and Vish on your show. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Next week?
I'd love to have you guys on.
Sweet.
All right, so a couple questions. First of all, I want Trent Williams back, but it looks like he might not be coming back.
Right.
And I'm of the belief that the center is the most important position on a Shanahan offensive line. So I was thinking about it. Corey Linsley from the Packers is probably going to hit free agency. Would you lose Trent Williams and keep Linsley? Because Trent Williams is going to be looking for $24 million. Linsley would be around $13 million. Would you lose him and Verrett, or would you rather keep Linsley and Verrett or have Trent Williams?
I think it's a very clever plan B. I think you should be proud of that. I like it. And I don't want to just say, no, it won't work. Oh, I'm just trying to play it out. I like it. Let's say we do it. Only question is, all right, what's your plan at left tackle? What's your plan?
Ride with Skule or Brunskill, because if you think about it, last season when Staley got injured, when Richburg was there, Skule didn't perform as badly as he did this year. That might be due to rust or anything, but there's other factors in play. But the center, as soon as Richburg went down, the entire line regressed, in my opinion. The Super Bowl was a lot worse, and it's not like the Chiefs' defensive line is that special. I don't really rate Frank Clark, and Chris Jones is pretty good, but
look, the thing is that Justin Skule really didn't play well this year. So that's a tough one. Here's the thing: what the Niners could do is, if they felt they could get a top flight left tackle with the 12th pick this year, then let Trent. Like, if Tristan Wirfs were available this year, where like he was last year, then let that guy go and get him. I just don't think that he is this year.
Yeah,
the Niners might have missed their opportunity. But what they could do, to what you're saying, is instead of spending $13 million on Linsley, who's a baller and a vet, maybe draft the best center available this year, and you can get that guy. The great centers usually could be available in the second round. That might be something the Niners invest in this year. It's a thought.
Yeah, the guy from Alabama, I think he won the best center of the year.
There's always a guy from Alabama. There's always a guy from Alabama.
So he's gonna fall in the draft, I think. So that might be an intriguing.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And the next question is regarding losing another loved 49er, Kyle Juszczyk and Tart. They're both well liked among the fans, but looks like both of them have ready-made replacements on the practice squad with Josh Hokit and Jared Maiden. I like both of them, and there's a reason why the team kept Hokit, because
true. Yeah, it's their project to replace him, no question. Here's the thing with Juice. Did you notice, like, this year when he did play, like, half the time he'd be a tight end?
I kind of know
more than usual, right?
More routes.
A lot more than usual. So what I was noticing is, it seems to me that the Niners and the Rams in particular have been killing the league with this outside zone stuff the last few years. And, the entire collective wisdom of defensive coordinators figuring out how to stop this thing. And they've all figured out you got to set the edge. When you face the Niners and the Rams, you set the edge and you don't let them get outside. And it's taken Sean McVay in particular a while to figure out what to do to combat that. They didn't run the ball at all in 2019. And what Sean McVay figured out, maybe Stefanski too in Cleveland, is widen the surface of the defensive line with extra tight ends. Because if they're going to pack it up and set the edges, okay, well, now put 7 dudes on the line. And now the gaps are bigger in between. And you're seeing the Rams in particular have a lot of success with 2 tight ends. And if you're going to set the edge, well, now I'm going to push that edge setter out with 2 tight ends and run inside. That's what the Niners did. That's what the Rams did. And you get that second tight end in motion. So he hits him with some force. Maybe the Niners want to evolve that way and have a guy like a second tight end who can play a little fullback in a pinch like Charlie Warner.
Yeah, so
I think that's the evolution. I think
Charlie Warner, maybe we possibly see
maybe
that.
him, or maybe they draft another guy. Hey, this I don't know who they're going to take, but if Kyle Pitts is available with the 12th pick, the Niners might have to make an exception because that to me looks like a future Hall of Famer. I don't know. He looks
he's more of a Travis Kelce type. I don't think his blocking is exactly.
I don't care. I don't care. He looks like the kind of guy who could lead the league in receiving, like the whole league, like Kelce did. Yep.
All right. Lastly, what do you consider an edge rusher at 12? I really like Greg Russo, Jalen Phillips, and I don't know how to say his name, Kiwiti Pay from Michigan.
I don't know the names. I haven't been scouting yet. I'll have to get back to you on that. But you'd have to consider it because D Ford has to go. You don't know what you're going to get from Nick Bosa, although you're optimistic, and that's a huge, huge need. If so is corner, but they're almost neck and neck. Yeah, you'd have to consider it. If there's a stud there who can play like Brian Burns or D Ford before the injuries,
Greg Russo's like 6'7". He's huge. He's like a DeForest Buckner type. So
they need a speed rusher more than they need a big power guy, though.
Yeah,
so I think
he's real quick. He's like a Von Miller, but like
all right, great. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks so much for waiting and coming on. And I'll come on with you next week.
All right, look forward.
Sure. Rick, what's up?
Grant, how are you, man?
I'm hanging in there. What's up?
Good. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. So quick question here. I really liked what you said in regards to a new quarterback coach. I really liked how you said that it would be great if we can get Jeff Garcia. What's the likelihood of something like that happening? And if we stick with Shane Day and we do get Kyle Trask, would he ruin Kyle Trask?
I don't know, man. It's something that is possible. The evidence seems to suggest that quarterbacks don't improve under Shane Day's tutelage. That's something Kyle Shanahan needs to look at real closely. And the other question is, would he consider bringing in a former player as a position coach? He brought in Wes Welker.
Right. Exactly.
He brought in Wes Welker. So, yes.
Right.
Kyle, if you're watching, do it again. It doesn't have to be Jeff Garcia. It could be whoever you want. But I think you need to improve that quarterback coach spot enough.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man.
Do you think that Jeff Garcia would be able to fix Jimmy Garoppolo if he stayed?
I don't know. It's a good question. He did have a quarterback school basically for high school kids in San Diego. He's done it before. I mean, at least bring him in for an interview. I'd love to have Jeff Garcia sit down here and say, Jeff, if you were the 49ers quarterback coach, what would you do? And, I actually used to interview him about Kaepernick. If you were the Niners quarterbacks coach, how would you work with Colin? And he would lay it all out. I forget what he said. It's been a while. But Colin turned him down and wanted to work with Kurt Warner instead, who I don't even think was really that interested to work with Colin. So, look, it's worth giving him an interview. What is your vision, Jeff? And then compare it to Shane Day's.
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever he does his show on the MSN, or I'm sorry, on NBC Sportsnet, he really breaks it down pretty well, and I think he would definitely help out for sure. Last question for you, man.
Sure.
Mac Jones. If we can't get Kyle Trask, would you like Mac Jones?
No. And I'm usually wrong, so let me just explain where I'm coming from. To me, there's only 2 starters in this draft. It's Trask and Lawrence. After them, I see backups like Jones. He looks great in college, but the way I look at it is his job is easy. And when he goes to the NFL, it's going to be much more difficult. And those are the quarterbacks a lot of times who struggle. You're looking for a guy whose job is going to get easier in the NFL. Like Justin Herbert had a very tough job at Oregon. He was on not a great team. not a great scheme. He goes to the NFL. He gets to play with Keenan Allen, and it's like, wow, I have a supporting cast now. But a guy like usually the Ohio State quarterbacks, the Alabama quarterbacks, they play for all-star teams. They come to the NFL where there's parity, and they're like, geez, this is a lot harder. I'm not used to having people in my face every snap, So I like Mac Jones. I think he could be a real good backup. But if you're expecting him to come in and be Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know. I don't know. It could be tough. It could be really tough. I don't know. What do you see from Mac Jones?
He seemed pretty poised in the pocket. I was really impressed with his style.
Yeah.
He made a lot of nice throws. He definitely has a better arm than Jimmy Garoppolo.
He does.
The footwork is there.
He does. It is.
Coached very well, and I think that could be pulled into the NFL very easily. But again, the coaching can ruin a lot of players, and that's what I'm worried about. If Shane Day stays, dude, I
guess it's like with Tua. Like I look at Tua and I'm like, ooh, he's not going to make it.
Right.
Or maybe I'm being too harsh. I'm like, ooh, that looks like a backup quarterback to me. He's going to be a backup. And so I look at Mac Jones. I'm like, yeah, he's got a better arm than Tua, but he didn't do anything in Alabama that Tua didn't do. They're kind of similar. And to expect Mac Jones to be somehow more dynamic than Tua in the NFL is maybe unrealistic. Maybe.
So what's up with Scangarello? Would he be willing to come back?
I think he would. They just let him go from the Eagles. I think he's a free agent, and I think he was better than Shane Day. So Kyle, if you're watching, call him up.
Please.
We
need to fix
honestly
footwork and
you don't want to let Shane Day anywhere near this next quarterback you're about to draft.
No. Well, thanks, Grant. Again, happy birthday, man. Say hi to your dad for me, and thanks for everything that you do.
Good questions, Rick. Thanks for coming on. All right, Jacob, what's up? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Where you at?
I'm over here actually on my break at work right now.
Oh, nice. What's on your mind?
So, happy birthday, man. I love your show. I started following you in the beginning of the season. I love everything, man. I love all your shows. You and your dad's the best show.
Oh, thanks, man.
Really
I hope
fun,
we keep you entertained.
Yeah. My question is for you. I kind of like the idea of sorry, I have to have my mask here at work. I like Kyle. I like Trask at 12. I really do. I like everything about it. I know he's not as fast as the other quarterbacks, but I really like what he does. And I think second and fourth. I don't think we have a third. So second and fourth, I really like a center, probably a guard. And in the back end, maybe just, I don't know, man. Pass rush, whatever's available. We have so many needs. We need a lot of help.
It's true. If the Niners have a good offense and a good pass rush, the secondary, you can get by with not the greatest secondary, but they got to figure that out. They can't spend draft picks on everything. That's, to me, if they could trade down from 12 and still get Trask, that's the move. Because they got to figure out a way to get some more picks. They will get picks if Saleh leaves. If Saleh leaves, they get a third-round pick this year and a third-round pick next year, which they can use to move up. That'll be helpful. But maybe they might have to take Trask at 12. I don't know. If he kills it at the Senior Bowl, they might have to do something like that.
Yeah, I can see them getting a corner at the first round, maybe, but I think he'd be gone by the time we pick him. I don't see him. I see some trading up at the end, back end, and we're kind of screwed. So you have to take him earlier than you expect. But I don't know. But I have a question actually. In my eyes, I kind of feel like Jason Verrett is a higher priority than Trent Williams, just because I saw JV play all year, and I know he said the durability issue, but that guy can ball, man. I like his footwork. I like the way he plays. He's so aggressive. We've had so many corners that can't even turn their head around or get them, looking back at when the pass be throwing. He's just so good at doing that. I know they both have
an effect on the entire defense that Trent Williams didn't have in the entire offense.
Yeah, and they both have. I like Trent a lot. He's a good ball player, but he hasn't played the whole season. Really, I don't think. I'm not too sure. Maybe he's missed at least one or two. So for that much cash, 24, 23 million, you can get Verrett, possibly 7-8 million. You got to kind of be bargain buyers.
Instead of giving this dude Trent Williams like all the money in the world, you could sign another left tackle who's not as expensive and keep Jason Verrett. I'm into that. Because I don't really like the idea of giving Trent Williams a blank check.
Yeah, me either. I like Trent. He's a baller, but I mean, we gotta pick and choose here. We can't just give him what he wants. I don't know. I like JV a lot. I followed since the days of the Chargers, and I was like, man, we can get this guy just on a bargain, which they did, and it paid off. I mean, now he's gonna want to get paid, and rightfully so. He's earned it. But I really like him in the
And
locker
if Trent
room. He
Williams
seems like a
leaves,
good dude.
they should definitely bring back Jason Verrett. You know, got
Yeah,
to.
but
He's
yeah, that was pretty much it. I really just wanted to say, man, your show's awesome. Man. I love it. I mean, seriously, keep it up, man. Keep doing your thing, and I'll probably be back here next Wednesday. You're gonna do this every Wednesday?
Yeah, I do it Wednesdays. Yeah. Hey, well, I appreciate it, man. I hadn't thought of the stuff that you had brought to the table, man. I hadn't thought of letting Trent Williams walk and signing Verrett. It's interesting, something to think about. Thanks for bringing a new idea to the show, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, you take care,
All right,
man.
Jacob.
Happy birthday.
Have a great day at work.
All right. Thank you.
For sure. Ben Meyerson.
Hey,
how
Grant,
the
what's
hell
up?
are you?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be on your show. Happy birthday.
Right. Thanks for waiting, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I wanted to ask you first. I know everyone's been talking about the quarterback situation, and rightfully so. It's the most important position.
Yeah.
Do you think there are any surprise quarterbacks we could see just come out, throughout the offseason that could be available for us? I know you threw out Andy Dalton or Trask in the draft, but is there anyone that anyone isn't talking about yet?
Well, yeah. How about what no one's talking about? Well, someone you could trade for. Like, what if the Jets don't want Sam Darnold anymore?
Yeah.
Quarterbacks like that. I don't know who else would fall into that category, but
a guy I know who's going to be a free agent, and I was going to throw out Jameis Winston just because I have to admit I'm a Florida State fan, so I'm a little biased, but I think that's a guy where you put him in a new situation, especially with someone like Shanahan. That could be really interesting to me.
Absolutely. And he just had a year being coached by Sean Payton, who Shanahan respects. There's a lot of carryover between their schemes. He'd be extremely cheap. Dirt cheap. Yeah, why not? I mean, he probably has more upside than Andy Dalton at this point. Why not?
Yeah.
Bring him both
in. I wanted to ask you also, when do you think, and I know John Lynch, he just got an extension last offseason, but when do you think we get to the breaking point with him? Because I'm not in a position where I think we should fire him at any point soon, but I think after another season of, if we still have Jimmy by the end of the season, we still don't have things figured out. There's a lot of question marks still there. I wouldn't fire him, but I feel like the hot seat would definitely be getting very warm if things were not very different by the end of the next
remember,
offseason.
they just gave him a 5-year extension, and he's not. I don't think he makes decisions, man. I think he basically tells Kyle Shanahan that Kyle's decisions are smart. Kyle, good idea. Let's do that. And then when Kyle makes the decision, John goes out and explains it to the media. I think that's basically his job. So they may feel they need someone to take the decision-making power away from Kyle, and that's not John. Right. But again, they just gave Kyle a 6-year extension, so they gave him more power. So, I mean, I think actually what could happen would be more likely is that John would be fed up and be like, what am I doing here? No one listens to me. I have no power. This is a figurehead position, and I'm not even respected. I'm going to go back and work for Fox. That's more likely that he just walks away at some point, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
Yeah. And then also I wanted to ask you, I thought it was really interesting when you were talking about, I forgot who you were talking about it with, but the financials of Jimmy, when he was, how he was $4 million per snap or per game.
Yes.
That magic number. I heard that, and I think it epitomized all the feelings that 49ers fans have of Jimmy. I mean, that number alone is just mind-boggling.
Yes.
Do you think that, and I know NFL teams and the media specifically more has talked about this, do you think we could get into a situation where we take a guy this year, right, in the first round, maybe second round, if it's someone like Trask, we trade up high, whatever. Do you think we could get into a situation where we take quarterbacks every 4 or 5 years, like all these media people want everything?
That's what I think is the move. I think that's like the money ball move in the NFL. As long as there is a rookie wage scale and you can get the most important position in professional sports at this bargain bin rate, you should be doing that all the time. You should be doing that all the time. That way, look at Cleveland. They have Baker Mayfield, who's good, not great. You can win with him now. Do you want to give him $140 million in 2 years? Maybe not. But how can you move off of him if you haven't drafted a replacement?
Right.
So they have to start thinking 2 years ahead. And I think we're going to start. No team has done it yet. The Rams should have.
Yeah.
The Rams should have. The Browns should. Let's see which team does it first and how they do it. And when a team does it successfully, all the other teams will follow suit because it's a copycat league.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Grant. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Good stuff, Ben. Thanks for waiting all this time, dude. All right. Hey, Jaden. Jaden, you're probably 13 years old.
Hello.
What's up, Jaden? No, you're probably 10.
13.
You're not 10. You're not 13. You're lying.
No, I'm 13.
Okay, all right. What's
I'm
up?
13.
Okay, all right.
What do the Niners have to do to become Super Bowl contenders again?
Okay. In my opinion, it's not trade everything in the world for Deshaun Watson. In my opinion, it's draft the right quarterback in round 1. Had they drafted Watson in 17 when they had the chance, they'd be Super Bowl contenders. But now trying to fix the problem 5 years later, 4 years later by trading everything you own for the guy, I don't think that's an overcorrection. So whoever it is in this draft, find him and draft him. You know who I think it is, but I could be wrong. It's their job to figure it out, And when you draft the right quarterback, everything works out from there on out. Look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs wouldn't have been Super Bowl contenders had they stuck with Alex Smith. They get Patrick Mahomes. Everything falls in line after that. I think that's draft the right quarterback, for crying out loud. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they need to draft a quarterback because Jimmy G doesn't have good decision making. He's not mobile and he's injury prone. So,
yeah, that's the trifecta of badness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't you be at class right now, though, Jaden? Am I going to get an angry note from your mom saying, "Why did you keep my kid away from class?" No,
I'm on break.
Yeah, nice, man. That's a nice hat. You're styling.
Thank you. Well, I just wanted to ask you that question. So,
of course, dude. Hey, thanks for coming on. You killed it.
All right. See ya.
Have a great one. Jaden, everyone. That was Jaden balling. All right. Let me get Chewy. What's up, Chewy? How you doing?
Grant, my man.
Hey, what's up, Chewy?
All right, I'm a big fan, man. All right.
You got a nice room, man. You got a nice house, dude.
You like that, huh?
I like the backdrop. Yeah. Okay. What's going on?
All right, cool. So Grant, all right. I want to talk about like quarterback situation next season. Everybody's talking about drafting a quarterback, this and that. Everybody's forgetting we're about to lose Robert Saleh. He's going to go somewhere. We're going to have a whole new defensive scheme, probably. We're going to have a lot of new different defensive starting players. They're going to take time to gel. I think it's going to be our offense this coming season that has to carry the team. And a lot of people aren't talking about that. We can't start a rookie and then have our offense carry the team. We got to look at some continuity. That being said,
there's going to be none on the defense. That's a good point.
That being said, Jimmy G obviously has his limitations. He's like an average quarterback with an above average ceiling, maybe. And but he knows the system. He can keep us competitive, I think, until we have the defensive system in place for a year. And then, at that point, we can maybe look at moving off the quarterback. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's probably a very pragmatic way to go about it. You're right. This defense could take a major step back next season. So the offense is going to have to carry the team for the first time, really, since Shanahan got here. So maybe continuity helps on offense. Maybe just adding to the offensive line, drafting a quarterback who would sit and develop and not play right away is the move. And then bringing in some serious reinforcements for the defense because it's going to need it.
Yeah, so I mean, from a quarterback standpoint, if we're going to get somebody to develop, we can't pick somebody at 12 and then expect him to sit a full season or two. No. I mean,
that's the whole point of draft. It's better to draft a quarterback at 27, 35, something like that.
Right. What are your thoughts as somebody that you think would be available? I know your guy is Trask. I mean, when I see Trask, I see Sean Hill. I mean,
so you see a backup. To me, it's possible, Chewy, that there's only one starting quarterback in this draft, and it's Trevor Lawrence. I think people need to realize that there's only one surefire guy. And after that, you might think it's Fields. Someone might think it's Trask. Someone else might think it's Lance. It's a gamble. And the draft is an inexact science anyway. Whichever quarterback you're taking, you just have to feel comfortable about where you're taking the gamble. The Fields gamble is going to cost you a trade up. The Lance gamble might cost you the 12th pick. The Trask gamble could cost you the 27th pick. The Mac Jones gamble could cost you the 40th pick. Where do you feel comfortable? Where's the right spot for you?
Well, I think
where I feel comfortable.
I mean, the right spot and the right player for me would be like Zach Wilson in the 20 to 25 range. I think he has enough upside to where he can be a starting quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be ready day one. You know, he's going from the small school. He's going to have to learn to do a lot of things he didn't do. I saw your video on his film breakdown, and there was a lot of just one reads, a lot of things he won't be doing in this offense. You know, he'll have to see the whole field. That's going to take time to learn. But I think, I mean, Trask to me is like a late second round pick.
Okay.
Fair. I don't believe in Fields or Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is too much of a project. That guy can't throw.
Agree.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like, hey, we need to roll with Jimmy G this year. Maybe look at a veteran to come in if Jimmy G gets hurt again. What do you honestly think is the best play there? And I mean, do you think Kyle Shanahan's offense could make the jump to carry the team next year?
Not if they don't address the offensive line. It's an F offensive line. It gave up 78 quarterback hits this year, 13 more than the next highest team. They got to address it. But as long as their quarterback is Jimmy G, they should always be looking for a quarterback they can draft in round 1. Maybe not at 12. I still believe what they should do is trade down maybe twice. You could trade down 4 picks, trade down another 5 picks, get a few more. And then now you're picking in the 20s and you can get a quarterback and things. But I think unless you have a quarterback that you feel is a future Hall of Famer, you should always be looking around to take a quarterback in round 1. You know, because again, you don't really know. Even you don't like Justin Fields, he could be great. You don't like Kyle Trask, he could be great. The draft's an inexact science. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a freaking chance. Draft these guys. Trade down. That's the way I look at it.
As far as offensive line, do you think McFloppy's issue is just that he was too light and not strong enough? Or do you think he's just like completely lost it from a mental standpoint and he doesn't have any confidence?
Man. I think it's both. The way he got ran over all season, you have to question, like, does this guy want to play football? You know, I mean, I don't know. You hate to question a guy's desire, but he didn't fight back. He got embarrassed, he got ran over, and he didn't fight back. So
at least we knew he was
why are
still
you on
there.
the field? What? Yeah. At
least we knew he was still there, getting beat up every week.
And the troubling part is that he talks at press conferences and it's like, yeah, it's a quick fix. It's easy. Like, no, dude, it's not. I don't know what you're telling yourself, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
And as far as Robert Saleh, I heard he has like a second interview with the Jets coming up.
Yes, he's been there for like 24 hours.
Dude, that's a bad job, don't you think?
Well, here's the thing. They got the number 2 pick in the draft. That's good. I like that. They got Quinnen Williams. They got a lot of young talent because they've been bad a long time. That's good. I like that. The problem with the Jets is the same problem with the Niners. It's expensive to live out there. It's expensive. So here's the thing. They might give Robert Saleh a nice contract, but then they'll be like, okay, we'll give you $12 million to fill out an 18-person coaching staff. But then all those assistant coaches are going to get offers from other teams in like tax-free states like Florida. And to make it worth their while to coach for you, you're going to have to give them like a 25% raise because of the cost of living. So all of a sudden, it's hard to fill out a good coaching staff on the Jets. I think that's part of the problem with that team is they often can't get good assistant coaches because it's expensive to live out there. Something to think about.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. Appreciate it, Grant.
I like your shirt too. That's a 40 and a 9. I like it. If you don't know,
tell your dad I'm a big fan. I like him. Now that he's not covering the team anymore, I like him.
All right, I'll tell him too. He likes him. Thanks, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Late. All right. Look, I'm trying to get people that haven't been on yet today. So I got to get Eric on the show, and then I'm gonna get to some other people. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up, Grant?
Hey, what's up, Eric? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Happy birthday.
Thank you. What's on your mind?
Hey, I'm a big fan. I agree with you most of the time. I'm gonna say 75% of the time I agree with you. And but I thought you were harsh on
the time that I agree with myself, so that's fair. What were you saying?
Hey, I thought you were harsh on my boy Zach Wilson yesterday.
Okay, let's talk about it. What'd you see?
Well, I'm seeing people complaining that he was throwing a bunch of curls. You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of Drew Brees, right? Picking the zone apart. Does Brees not dial up those curl routes, right, to Michael Thomas all the time?
You're right.
I mean, so he was taking what the defense was giving him.
He did. He was 24 for 26 in the game, so how can you really knock him?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You were saying he was hitting he was looking at his first read and hitting that guy a lot. But if the guy's open,
why would you knock
if he's open, right? I mean, so I don't think you can really knock him there.
Yeah.
The high touchdown pass, I think Jack said, in the pros, that would be a pick. Right? He threw that high touchdown pass where the safety was closing in on him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like he put that ball where only the receiver could get to it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was that. I still love the breakdown, but I felt like he was making some throws that were making me say, wow, like that opposite hash throw. And I felt like your guys' reaction wasn't as enthusiastic as mine was. I'm like, I haven't seen a Niner make this throw in 10 years? I mean, Kaepernick could hit that.
I tried to nitpick him, and I mean, he does have an amazing offensive line. Would you agree?
Absolutely. But here's what I would say to that. How do we know he can't make plays if he's getting compressed in the pocket a little bit? Like we don't know he can't.
And I'm not saying he can't. What I'm saying is he hasn't shown that he can. So there's always risk with every player. There's risk with every player. It's just that he hasn't been afforded the opportunity to check those boxes and show those things because of where he is. And it's not his fault. I just feel a little nervous taking him top 10 because it looks like he's playing 7-on-7 football, and it's not his fault.
And I agree with you, but just the arm talent, he makes me say wow. And Jimmy hasn't made me say wow ever.
No, ever.
Unless it's like, wow, what the heck is he doing? You know what I mean?
If the Niners draft Zach Wilson, I'm not going to criticize him. I like Zach Wilson. I feel like he's a bigger project than people want to admit. I think the speed of the game is going to be a transition for him. And I think that it was just too easy for him in college. The first read's always open. The offensive line is impeccable. He can hold the ball as long as he wants. He can do things that he's not going to be able to do in the NFL. And there's going to be a little bit of a transition. Doesn't mean he's going to fail. If he gets picked by the right team and sits for a year, dude could be a Pro Bowler. So maybe that team is the Niners, and if they pick him, I'm not criticizing him at all. I will not.
Okay. Real quick, I want to move to Fields.
Okay.
Because I know you're not a Fields guy.
I don't like Fields.
But you have to admit Fields has all the tools.
He does. That's the problem. That guy is going to get picked very high because he has all the tools.
But these guys, Shanahan's going to think he can coach him up. And in fact, Javier Vega tweeted a photo of Fields and Shanahan working together, right? So they might have a bit of a relationship.
They might.
I don't think Fields is making it to 12, but one of these guys, whether it's Wilson or Fields, I feel like could slip to 7, maybe ahead of the Panthers. Right. And that's where I think, might be the sweet spot where we could move up and maybe snag a guy, because sometimes guys slip a little bit.
Okay, I think Shanahan would be more interested in Wilson, and I'm more interested in Wilson because to me
too.
Wilson is a mobile quarterback. Fields is a dual threat. Like Fields is not just a mobile quarterback. Like he's better at running than he is at passing, and he has a very strong arm, but he's a hell of a runner. To have him starting, you need to be calling like 10 design runs for him a game. And that's not Kyle's offense. That's one of the reasons he got rid of Colin Kaepernick, because you got to do the same thing for him. A guy like Zach Wilson, he creates his own running opportunities. And that's different. It's different.
I agree. I think Shanahan could make some things happen with Fields, though, if he got his hands on him. Because Shanahan gets the guy open the majority of the time. And Fields, he has an accurate, strong arm, but it's about the processing, right? That's the thing that we got to see. How's the processor?
Here's the thing with Fields. That Ohio State running game and their up-tempo offense puts defenses on their heels, okay? As opposed to what Kyle Trask is facing. He's in the SEC with no run game, and defenses are teeing off. So his job is harder. Defenses are on their heels against Ohio State, And the few times that I ever see pressure in his face, he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this. Maybe I'll be an athlete. Maybe I'll run around. That's great, dude. That works at Ohio State. But I think that's going to be the reason, if he fails, that he'll fail in the NFL. It's the same reason every Ohio State quarterback fails. It's like, whoa, this is way harder than what I did at Ohio State. Wow, I wasn't prepared at all. That's basically what happens.
Yeah, I feel I don't like comparing guys all from the same school. I feel like each guy's their own entity, and
but if a quarterback can go to a school like Alabama and Ohio State and take it to a whole new level, give the dude credit. But when I look at Fields, he's not doing anything.
You're right. You want a little bit more. He leaves you wanting a little bit more. But
when Watson went to Clemson, he took that program to a whole different level. Mac Jones isn't doing anything Tua didn't do. I mean, all respect to Mac Jones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, last thing I wanted to share with you is my buddy who's in his 60s. He's an older guy. He's telling me the Niners got to find their Ronnie Lott. That's what he's saying, right?
Here's the thing with your buddy, though. The NFL changed. Ronnie Lott can't do what Ronnie Lott does anymore.
I know. You can't hit like that no more.
Ronnie Lott closed the middle of the field. You couldn't throw seams to your tight end against the Niners. You couldn't throw 15-yard in-breaking routes to your wide receiver against the 49ers because Ronnie Lott would end that guy's career. Now those throws are open all day, every day. All day, every day. That's why these quarterbacks have unreal ratings. Every quarterback, 105 rating, because the middle of the field is wide open because Ronnie Lott doesn't exist anymore. It's too bad.
Hey, love the content. Keep it up. And get to one of these guys. I'm gonna hit you next time.
Thanks for.
And I'm gonna keep coming with the quarterback comps.
I appreciate you.
I'm gonna keep coming with those quarterback comps
next week, and then we're gonna move on to Trask, and I'm gonna be way too positive, and you can keep me honest.
See, I knew that was coming.
So, but that's why I need you, baby. You're my quality control.
I got you.
All right, man. See you soon. He knew it was coming. Yeah, damn right it's coming. I'm pretty predictable. Hello, Istanbul. What's up, James? You're muted again. There you go.
You remembered. How you doing?
Yeah, of course I remembered.
Cool, man. I just got a few questions.
Sure.
When is the next time that you guys get to talk to the coaches? You interview them?
Ooh, that's a good question. Usually it's the combine. And usually I don't get to do it. You have to be in person and go to Mobile, Alabama. But now the pandemic's going on. And I could go. Why would you go to Mobile, Alabama, right? Hey, no offense to people who live Hoover, Alabama. Shout out to Larry.
Nick Mullen.
I hear it's a lot of fun. I hear they have an Applebee's. So
only one though. My question is basically, we were talking about how proud Kyle is and what you would ask him or what you could ask him. Maybe the beat writers ask this regularly, but why not just asking look, in the spirit of reflection over the last 12 months, whether it was in the game or not in the game, is there a decision or two that you're just like, man, I think I messed up there? I would just be really curious.
And I've tried to ask him questions like that. Here's what I think he would do. He would say, oh, absolutely. I do that every game. After every game, I go back and I assess every decision I made, and there's decisions I don't like and there's decisions I like. I do that every week. And it sounds great. And I'm like, okay, Kyle, name two. Name one.
Yeah. That's how my students answer their essay questions, and they get zeros because there are no specific examples.
But I don't really think Kyle Shanahan spent a lot of time in class when he was a kid, man. He knew what he was going to do as an adult.
Well, that's the thing. He was on the sideline since he was 15. He didn't care.
Yeah. I take full responsibility. Name one play. Ooh, can't do that. Ooh,
no, it's never his fault.
No, because again, remember when they lost to Dallas? They lost to Dallas. They committed 800 turnovers in that game. And I asked the game, I said, Kyle, do you ever take responsibility for for your offense's turnovers? He's like, oh yeah, all the time. All the time. I always go back and look. And I said, okay, these four in this game, do you take responsibility for any of them? He goes, well, no, I didn't fumble the ball. I didn't throw the interception. It's like, okay, dude, nice. Way to go. Way to be yourself.
Yeah, it's never his fault. It's never his fault.
Never. But it's never my fault either, so I respect that, It takes a really smart person to be right 100% of the time, and me and him are the only people like that. It's game recognized game.
So my other question is, I feel like the first thing they need to do this offseason, which I guess it already started, John, Jimmy, and Trent just sit in a room and say, Jimmy, you are hurt and you look like a headless chicken when you are hurt and you're, not a great quarterback when you don't have someone protecting your blind side consistently.
Yeah.
Why don't we just shave off about $4 million one game, right? $4 million is one game from Jimmy, and just shift that over to Trent's, because that's probably the gap that John was, short on with Trent's contract last week, and everyone's happy.
Jimmy, we're going to take some money away from you to keep you healthy. It's reasonable. And honestly, I think Russell Wilson should be doing the same thing with Seattle, because this guy's making all this money and he can't stay upright because his offensive line was purchased at the dollar store.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Jimmy. I don't feel like he's in the mood to give money back to the 49ers.
Well, his stock will never increase then. He will never be a starting quarterback then.
I agree. But I almost feel
He'll
like
never get the chance.
Jimmy would rather get cut and just be like, dude, cut me. I don't think he's that excited to be on the Niners.
See, that's not a football player. How does that not get found out in the interviews after the draft and during the combine and things like that?
Much of a football player anymore. I mean, it's controversial to say. I don't think he cares much anymore. If he cared,
that's what's frustrating.
George did.
Yeah.
Kittle did.
Yeah.
Kittle cared.
But that's the thing. It's like that should be noticeable if you sit down with this guy and do your homework on each of these players.
I bet he cared before he became a multi-millionaire. I bet he cared. When he got him in 2017, I bet he was perfect. And then they gave him a $40 million signing bonus. He tears his ACL and comes back. He's like, you know what? Funny thing, I just find that I'm not as passionate about this brutal sport anymore.
Don't trust the good-looking guys,
Exactly. I mean, the guy I don't know if it's fair to say, but I've always called him Zoolander. He's Zoolander to me. That's who he is. In every sense. So good guy, who doesn't like Zoolander? Everyone likes Zoolander, but he needs to go be Zoolander.
He's not as funny though. Jimmy actually has a pretty bad sense of humor. He's just not clever. He's really not.
True. He needs to lean into his inner Zoolander and just be a little funnier, Jeez. Anyway, I think he needs to go and model for Calvin Klein, dude. Do it. You won't get hit in the head. You will not have a high ankle sprain modeling for Calvin Klein. Do it. Anyway.
No. Last thing, are you going to continue doing the Zach Wilson breakdowns or just that one game?
No, Jack and I are going to do another one next week, and then we're going to move on and do another quarter. We're going to do 2 games for every quarterback. Start with that, and then if we have time, we'll do more.
Are you going to do Coastal Carolina?
No, I think what we're
going
going
to do a win and a loss.
What we're going to do was the Utah game, I think, from 2019, the bowl game against because I don't know if we have the Coastal Carolina film is the problem. We have the Utah film. That was 2019. He is kind of the same. It was even worse, I think. So we're going to do one good game, one bad game for each guy. We're with you. Yeah, that's the way to go. Yep.
Yeah. I want a quarterback that cares. That's all I want. I don't care if it's Trask or a 6th round guy. I just want someone. Honestly, Nick Mullins cares.
Nick Mullins cares too much. Nick Mullins is ready to
stressed
out right now. No, I love that about Nick Mullins. And with Jimmy, when Jimmy throws a pick, the look on his face is, oh well.
He's smiling, walking off the field.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
So I stream all the games out here, of course, because I don't have TV and I have to get up at 2 a.m. Blah blah blah. I remember that game. Actually, I don't remember who we were playing. He throws a pick and he's smiling, walking off the field. I just slammed my laptop shut and I went to bed. I said, I'm not going to watch this quarterback. Why are we paying him $4 million for this game?
That's right, and that's what he gets since he only plays half the games. He gets like $4 million a game. I can't really blame him. I never really wanted to play football anyway. It seems like a very brutal sport that's not that fun. If you don't want to play anymore, Jimmy, just tell people so they can move on. Andrew Luck did that. Andrew Luck had the common decency to say, look, Andy, I know you want me. I just don't want to do this anymore. It sucks. I don't want to do it. Find someone else. I respect that, dude. Jimmy, do that.
Could you imagine Steve Young having that face when he walks off the field?
Oh my God. No, absolutely not. Steve Young looked like he wanted to curse out every player on the offense when he threw a pick.
I mean, he almost ripped off George Seifert head. So
Brady is so pissed when they go bad during games. Jimmy's like, still Jimmy. Still got this smile, baby. So you don't know what it's like to be that handsome and good looking, man. How could you care about anything if you were that handsome and rich? How could you?
We're just slaving away, us average looking people, slaving away. You got to move to Istanbul just to get a job.
See, that's one of the things I like about Kyle Trask. Average looking at best. No, here's the thing about Kyle Trask again. All of his players opted out of his bowl game. He didn't opt out.
Yeah.
He played, and his stock plummeted because he had to play with a bunch of backups. He was out there. So I kind of like that, I kind of like that. He could have
I know someone earlier said, "Did you watch his bowl game?" And I'm like, no one was on his team. And well, injuries happen in the NFL too. Yeah, but the NFL has depth. Like college football, you have like 3 receivers and that's it.
People just looking for reasons to dump on him for whatever reason. But all I know is when he had his full team around him and played Alabama, and when Justin Fields had his full team around him and played Alabama, Trask outplayed him.
I watched that game earlier today. I just watched that whole game for the first time.
Which one?
He's also Alabama, Ohio State.
Ohio State. Yep.
Oh, he is not even a good runner. He's not agile. And I don't know if it's his injury or something.
Hurt against Clemson. He got lit up against Clemson because he just ran straight into the dude. He's fast, but he's not elusive. I'm with you, man. I think he's a backup in the NFL. And he's going to get some fired.
Yeah.
Rob, do not take that.
It might be Kyle.
It might be Saleh. Saleh don't
No, he's better talent evaluator than Kyle. You know that.
All right, man. Thanks for
All right, have a good one.
You too, dude.
Got to get some sleep. See ya.
Yeah, man, do it. What's up? Live from London. How you doing?
Happy birthday.
Thank you. What's on your mind?
Well, I was just following on from what the last guy said about the whole ego, arrogance of Kyle. And I was just thinking, it's crazy that a guy who's blown 2 Super Bowls can have that kind of arrogance. Like, I know he's our coach. I don't want to slag him off, but it's true.
Dude, but in his mind, it's like, hey, well, that was Matt Ryan's fault, and that was Jimmy Garoppolo's fault.
But everyone knows it's not.
I know. You're the common denominator, Kyle.
Yeah, do you think that level of embarrassment would bring it down a little bit?
You'd think, but we can't really relate to people who
make that much money.
Yeah, you got a 6-year extension after losing the Super Bowl. So what message did that send? Yeah. It wasn't your fault, Kyle. You're great. You're a superstar.
This is why also I'm quite worried about Saleh leaving, because I feel like he's the kind of the pragmatist.
Yes. There's no question about it. He grounds Kyle. Yeah, it's a good idea, but let's try this. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Let's try this. I agree.
Yeah, well, it's Kyle's the creator. You do need him to bring that creativity to the side, but I don't know. I feel like we could be in for more leads blown.
I think so too. Kyle's an idea guy. He's not necessarily a decision maker.
Yeah. Where do you think Saleh's going to end up?
I think he's going to end up with the Jets.
I don't like that.
I know.
I just feel like they're just like a losing franchise.
They are. Now, from his perspective, they got the number 2 pick. They could trade down and get a lot of picks, draft a quarterback, and restock maybe. But you got Sam Darnold. Oof.
Has that Jacksonville job kind of just gone completely off the radar because of the owner?
Meyer wants it, and he's trying to use all of his celebrity and power and gravitas to get it. I don't know if I think that would be a mistake. But Trent Baalke's making the hire down there, and he was the guy with the Niners who hired Jim Harbaugh. Maybe he thinks, if I get that superstar college coach again, I can recreate what we did in San Francisco.
Because I felt like it was looking like Jacksonville was going to be the dream job. That was being set up to be the dream job with that cap space and Trevor Lawrence guaranteed.
2 best jobs are Jacksonville and the Chargers because of Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. Period.
Yeah, I guess because Trevor Lawrence, even the Chargers is probably better because they've got the guaranteed quarterback where Trevor Lawrence is still a bit of a gamble there.
You might like Trevor Lawrence, but you still don't really know. Herbert, Yeah.
Yeah, and you got Joey Bosa and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to ask was, do you think in this kind of day and age they're it's less likely that there'll be a quarterback that is willing to take a pay cut like Tom Brady to win rings.
It seems like it. It seems like every year quarterbacks are trying to get more and more.
Yeah.
They're trying to get fully guaranteed contracts, stuff like that. And yeah, I think Dak Prescott's going to get everything he can get. I think basically, yeah, that's what you should do. Unless
that's
you're
the way to win.
I mean, it is the way to win. But a big reason Tom Brady does it is because he's married to Giselle, who's way richer than he is.
Yeah.
She's way richer than he is. So like if a quarterback could marry Kim Kardashian, then yeah, do that. But otherwise, you might feel you need that money. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking that the whole Baker situation we were talking about earlier about how they're going to pay him. I feel like when the teams draft these quarterbacks, they kind of build up a relationship with them, and they're not willing to like not give them the market rate.
Right.
Like
it's true.
It's like you've got that connection like with the quarterback, and like you pick this guy number one. How are you going to say, yeah, we're going to just throw you on like the scrap pile? Like,
well, I mean, that's the same reason that the Rams re-signed Jared Goff, all those reasons, and then they sign him, and then it doesn't work out. So I know you can't just get rid of Baker Mayfield, but you could trade him.
Yeah.
You could let someone else make a bad decision, but the only way you can do that is if you have a guy waiting.
Yeah. People don't realize that in that like locker room, Baker Mayfield is probably like he's friends with all the players. They don't want him to leave. It's going to cause like disharmony if he goes and stuff like that.
That's the truth. And so I don't know which team is going to do it first and make this move. It's going to be a very bold move, and it may not work out. But if they do it and it works, other teams are going to do it too, and players are going to have to get over, losing their quarterback. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Sorry you're friends with them. Sorry you like them. We got to do what's best for the team.
Yeah. Also on quarterbacks, I think I've been watching your videos this week with Vish on Deshaun Watson, and I feel like he's just that guy that you have to do it. Like it's so rare.
Saying trade Warner and Bosa instead of a bunch of picks.
Yeah,
that's interesting to me. I like the idea of trading players. I like that.
Yeah. Because this is a guy that you could draft you could draft a quarterback every year for the next 15 years, and you're praying that it's him. And there's a chance that you can get him right now if you put the assets forward.
Only problem I have with Watson is the problem I have with every expensive quarterback. In 2021, he's not expensive.
Yeah.
His cap percentage is 8.6. That's great. He's only 15 million. In 2022, he cost you 40 million. His cap percentage is 17.8. In 2023, he cost you 42 million. His cap percentage is 17. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with one person making about 1/6 of your cap. Maybe you can. It's never been done before. So that's my only thing. He's a great player. It's just so hard to find the right solution at quarterback. It's hard.
Yeah. How long is it till Mahomes' contract gets like outrageously high?
Let me tell you right now. Give me 10 seconds. All right. Okay. 2023. It's actually reasonable. Well, actually not. Next year, his cap percentage is 13.7. That's high. The year after that, it's 13.8. That's high. 2023, it's 17. So next year, it's going to be high. If he wins a Super Bowl next year, he'll be the most expensive quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. So we'll see if it can be done. Yeah. Matt Ryan almost did it at 15%, but he lost.
The one thing is that with the mobile quarterback like Watson, you can kind of like make sacrifices on the offensive line because he's going to get out of trouble and stuff.
That's what Seattle does. But look at Seattle. I mean, it works in the regular season, but then you get deep in the playoffs, and that offensive line takes you down every time. So to me, if I were Seattle, I would trade Russell Wilson and start over. But maybe that's crazy. It just seems to me that the reason they never make it all the way is because he's making too much money. It's like, dude, maybe you should give some of that to your offensive line, dude. I don't know. Do what Tom Brady did.
Yeah.
I mean, your wife is Ciara. She's rich too. Why do you need all this money?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I wanted to say, man.
All right, man. Well, thanks for seeing. I mean, good to see you 2 weeks in a row, man. I'll see you next.
Yeah. Keep up the content.
All right, man. All right, I'm going to let Matt on, and then I'm going to get Francesco, and then I'm done. Mike, not Matt. Mike.
Yeah, me, bro.
How you doing?
Big fan. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I like your dad too. He's really, really good. I like listening to you guys.
He's great.
All right. So I wrote this down so I don't forget.
Okay.
All right. So do you think the 49ers were like a one-hit wonder in 2019?
Oh, man. That's a really good question. I think it's possible, man. I mean, let's step back for a second. They made a lot of win now moves. The D4 move, the Quan Alexander move, the Emmanuel Sanders move. They went all in, like mortgage the future for the present. Jimmy Garoppolo played every game. How often is that ever going to happen again? Saleh's leaving. This team's going to be way different next year. It's possible. Yes.
Yeah, there's so many injury-prone guys like Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., Deebo Samuel tries to like run through like 10,000 people every time.
It'll whole team.
Yeah.
Jimmy. Oh, you're right, man. It's possible, man. It's a depressing thought, but yeah, it's possible.
Mm-hmm. But
here's the thing. When Kyle feels like his job is on the line, he brings it together. I feel like he's the kind of guy who messes around for a year or two, and then people say like, hey, maybe Kyle isn't that good. And he's like, okay. And then he has this one great year where he makes a bunch of win now moves and gets his extension and then stinks for 2 years. That's my theory.
That's basically what I had. You kind of threw me off track. I didn't know if I was going to get on or not, but I really appreciate it though.
I saw you waiting in there. I appreciate it. It's a good question. Because to me, the way I saw Kyle is he screwed around for 2 years, 17 and 18, just totally screwed around, brick by brick, no urgency to win. Then there was like, hey, he better not have 3 losing seasons in a row. He's like, yeah, okay, I need to win this year. Let me get D Ford. Let me get Quan Alexander. Let me mortgage my future to make sure I get in the playoffs. Let me get this extension. All right, let me screw around for 2 more years. That's the way I see him, man. Just when he needs to coach well, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I like your room. You got a nice little setup.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, bro.
See you soon.
Yeah, see you later, bro.
All right, Francesco, we're going to go out with you. Thanks for waiting around.
I'm here to wrap it up.
What's up?
I'm here to wrap it up. Great content. Great show. First of all, I want to say that this type of show where you take phone call from all fans or around the world is absolutely great. Absolutely great. And I just want to say that for me, that I'm living here in Italy, it's a little bit tough to find out great content about the NFL and about the football in general, because the longer you are watching shows that are coming here in Italy on NFL Network and stuff like that, you find out that they are not great content. They are, because most of all, they are more focused on doing a show than bringing content, great stuff to the people. And for the 49ers is even bigger because they never talk about the 49ers. I don't know if it is a West Coast bias or
gotta be.
They gotta be, and they never talk about the 49ers with the right content and with the very detailed, specific stuff that you bring to your shows.
Thank you.
Then I have the last question for you. What do you think is the most realistic option for the 49ers at quarterback? Zach Wilson is an option? I don't think so, because he's going number 2.
He's going number 2 or 3.
And you can trade up to number 2.
I don't think you can. I don't think you should.
It's going to cost you a lot more probably than
you can, because it's probably going to be Saleh owning that pick. You can call him up. Yeah. But I don't think you should. I mean, he's going to rob you.
Because I think that if the 49ers want to trade up to get their quarterback, they probably have to trade up to the number 2, which is unrealistic.
That's like, and then again, you got to get back to trading Fred Warner, things like that. And I don't think you trade Fred Warner for a draft pick. You trade Fred Warner for another
player.
Yeah, you don't trade him for like a guy you think might work out. No, absolutely not. So yeah, to me, so what's the question? What's the most realistic option?
Realistic. Yes.
Look, I'm going back to the first caller, Cy. He said the Niners are stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo. He basically has to fail before they can move on. I think he's right. I think he's going to be on this team next year. And that's no excuse for the Niners to not. They have to draft a quarterback. The question is when. Is it round 1? Is it round 2? Is it round 3? Whatever it is, it can't be the next CJ Beathard. It has to be someone with actual talent that you can develop. So, I mean, I think that's what they're going to have to do. If they don't draft a quarterback this year, they're crazy. They're loco.
For me, it's very difficult to judge quarterbacks like Mac Jones and
It's
Kyle
so hard.
Trask. I think that I've seen on the ESPN player a lot of games of Alabama this year.
Right.
And I think Mac Jones is basically unjudgeable. When you see the game against Notre Dame, I mean, I was joking with my friend that we are watching the game together, and he's basically throwing to receivers that are NFL receivers, guarded by cornerback that next year are probably working a bank.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And he's protected by a professional offensive line.
Yes.
He's handing off to the best running back in the country. His job is just so easy.
So easy.
So when you see him make a throw, you're like, hey, that's a nice throw. It's like, okay, his job is so easy, and it won't be easy in the NFL, and it's going to be a shock to him. Just like we see him with Tua right now. Tua's struggling big time in Miami. And why would we expect Mac Jones to have an easier transition, in my opinion?
Kyle Trask instead is I appreciated a lot the fact that he played in the last bowl game, because it went against the trend that if it's not a bowl that is a final or semi-final for the national title, the players, the seniors are not playing the game. And I think that he did the right thing, even if his stock in the draft will probably drop for the last game. I think that regarding Trask, your assessment that if it was 15 years ago, he probably would have been a top 5 pick.
That's what I think. 15 years ago, he definitely would have been a top
when Ben Roethlisberger was selected in 2004.
He's a lot like Ben Roethlisberger. They're the same size.
You got to have probably an all-star offensive line for Trask to succeed at the NFL. And we've seen in our game against New Orleans, which has probably the best offensive line in the NFL, and we were basically without DeFord, without Nick Bosa, without Buckner, and with all people that are probably considered backups on the defensive line, we were able to put pressure on their quarterback against an all-star offensive line. So the difference between the defensive lines in the NFL and the offensive lines in the NFL is
it's true
at an all-time high.
So let me make a case real quick for Trask, though. No one faced more pressure of these quarterbacks coming out than Trask did. I mean, I think he faced double the pressure that anyone else did. So like, he dropped back about 450 times this season. I think faced pressure 125 times. That's a lot like the NFL. He was on a team that had no running game. So the defenses just can tee off. It's a one-dimensional offense. He has to drop back and throw. He's under pressure a lot. When I talk about a quarterback's job being either more difficult or easier when he gets to the NFL, if Kyle Trask were to come to the Niners, be like, oh my God, I have a running game all of a sudden. His job would get easier. Mac Jones has the running game already. He has the offensive line. He comes to the Niners, all of a sudden, he's dealing with Mike McGlinchey. It's like, oh, I didn't have to deal with this in college. This is new. This is different. Kyle Trask, his right tackle at Florida makes Mike McGlinchey look like Trent Williams. I mean, this is something he's all very familiar with. I like a quarterback that you can take and be like, hey, we're going to make your life even easier. You don't even know what it's like to have a run game. Wait till you have this run game. Wait till you see what play action can do for you. Because we already can see that you can drop back and light people up on your own. Wait till we help you out.
Last question about Trask, because the stock of a quarterback during the draft process can usually go up. Where do you think Kyle Trask will be selected? At number 12? In the top 10?
No,
at the end of the first round.
What you said, I think teams right now are looking for mobile quarterbacks. And if it was 15 years ago, he would have ended up being the 12th pick in the draft at the lowest. But because he's not the type of quarterback a lot of teams are looking for, his stock will rise after the Senior Bowl, but it won't rise that much. And I think he'll go no higher than the 25th pick. No higher than the 25th pick. Which is good news. I mean, if someone wants a good starter, you can get that guy late. That's good news. So
it would be ideal for us to probably trade down a little bit, get some third round, fourth round pick, and then draft Trask at the end of round 1.
Yep, agree.
Probably that
Let's
would
see
be.
if they can pull it off. Kyle,
And
we just laid it out for you.
And do you think it's possible to have Trask and Garoppolo next year?
Why not? Absolutely. Why not? Absolutely. Keep Garoppolo, trade down, draft Trask, get an offensive lineman. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, it's possible. Yes. It would be prudent. Yeah. All right, Francesco.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on. You were great today.
Thank you.
All right. Guys, this has been 2.5 hours. Went longer than I thought it would. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to go get lunch, and I'll be back at 3 o'clock with Anthony Jana, the gentleman from Australia, as we tell Kyle Shanahan how to do his job. Check us out later.